When it comes to driving big construction rigs, you've reached a point in your life where you've earned sweat equity. At Mohawk Valley Materials, MVM, we work in the dirt with some of the best equipment on the planet. We're hiring project estimators, foremen, heavy equipment operators, laborers, and mechanics right now for both governmental and commercial contractors all across the U.S. We don't let just anybody operate our machines. If you're one of the few and you know it, apply confidentially at mvmjobs.com. Equal opportunity employer.
Fraudulent tax returns due to identity theft increased by 30% in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. Their U.S.-based restoration specialists are dedicated to helping solve identity theft issues, and all plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which means if you lose money because of identity theft, LifeLock will reimburse you up to the limits of your plan. Help protect your information with LifeLock. Go to LifeLock.com and save up to 25% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code.
Utica's first cannabis dispensary is local, licensed, and now open to all. Exit 31 Exotic is your home for edibles, flower, vapes, and all your cannabis needs. Visit Exit 31 Exotic at 255 Genesee Street or online at uticacannabisco.com. For use only by adults 21 years of age or older. Keep out of reach of children and pets. In case of accidental ingestion or overconsumption, contact the National Poison Control Center hotline 1-800-222-1222 or call 911. Please consume responsibly. License number OCMCAURD 2400076.
Why do so many dogs suffer from weight issues, skin problems, messy poops, and low energy? It could be the popular dog food you put in their bowl each day.
Cody was sleeping a lot, wasn't playing.
She was very lethargic and not moving around.
Dry kibble just wasn't cutting it.
That's why, after more than 45 years of experience of helping dogs make complete health turnarounds, veterinarian Dr. Marty created Nature's Blend. It's a freeze-dried raw dog food made with wholesome ingredients like premium meats, seeds, vegetables, and fruit. And once dog parents switch their pups to Nature's Blend, the results can be astounding.
She's got her energy back. She's running around like she did like 5 years ago.
Miraculously, she's just feeling all around better. She's like a new dog. Thank you, Dr. Marty.
Get your dog started today and save up to 54% off Nature's Blend. Plus, receive a free pack of our best-selling beef liver dog treats. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Text DEAL to 511-511. All dogs are unique. Your dog's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
The smarter way to clean your floors. It's time to make the swap. Swiffer Power Mop.
Introducing the new Swiffer Power Mop, the all-in-one tool that gives you a mop and bucket clean in half the time. The solution's built right in, so no heavy bucket, and the pad has hundreds of scrubbing strips to get deep into grout. Don't mop harder, mop smarter.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
Keeler Show today. It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen? Keeler's always in the know. It makes me want to call him and tell him where to go. And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started.
It's time to get things started.
On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
The opinions, viewpoints, and promises made during the following program are not those of WIBX, its staff, management, or parent company, Town Square Media.
If we take the jail first, we'll have a place to lock up all the others. Then there's Keeler. He took over the bank as soon as the judge was murdered.
But I think that's because when you make tough decisions, you're left to deal with the repercussions.
Seriously, dear, I've done so many of these shows across the nation, helped so many people, and guided them to my website. And
look at this.
What is this, a joke program? I mean, what type of a program are you running here?
Here comes the
reality, Bill Keeler is no longer on the air. He was fired yesterday over a contract.
Father O'Shaughnessy?
Yes.
Ray Paulwell in Lynchburg, Virginia. How are you?
Good morning.
Go to hell!
Free your mind.
Well, good morning. Good morning. Here we go. It's Tuesday. Today's Tuesday?
Today is Tuesday, yeah.
Notice how I'm saying that with indecisiveness. Good Tuesday morning. And we've got a lot to get to today. There's an awful lot to talk about. Some of it is, there's an awful lot of bad to talk about, to be honest with you. Yeah. There's a lot of bad out there. We have the latest on the police shootings in Syracuse. And it's just, it really is terrible.
Yeah, it's an awful story, and it's awful that we've had to deal with this in our county at least 4 times with officers being killed in the line of duty, 3 by gunfire, 1 by an accident, motor vehicle accident. But this is shaking the world of not only our world here but across the country.
Well, it is certainly a national story.
And also, I think some of the things that are starting to come out, you had heard earlier in the day, but it is beneficial that the Syracuse police officer, Officer Michael Jensen, was a former Rome native or former Rome,
or is a Rome native, former Rome resident, and still has plenty of family.
And how
there.
about this? I was, because I follow the college due to the fact that I'm an alum there. But both Husek and Jensen were both
went to Lemoyne
people.
No. So we now have learned that there were 2 guys. One was the shooter, and he, of course, was killed in this whole thing. Christopher R. Murphy, 33-year-old, another 33-year-old, his friend, Sean Kinsella. According to Kinsella, who was caught fleeing the scene, they don't expect any charges to be filed against him. My guess is as long as he continues to cooperate, which he has done. And he's saying that he and Christopher Murphy had spent some time doing lines of cocaine and were all coked up.
My God.
Yeah. So they were all coked up and ready to go, and then this happened. So it started with a chase, speeds over 100 miles an hour. Police, of course, if you're going to be doing this, think about this just for a moment. I guess unless maybe he thought this was going to be the way he ended everything, but they're going to get your license plate. And then what do? You go back to your home, and you do more cocaine.
And you lead police right to you.
And, of course, police are going to show up there because that is your address. So, but it looked like he was getting ready, and police said they could hear from outside him preparing the gun. What was it, an AR-15?
Yeah.
Preparing the gun as police were surrounding the house.
There had to have been... Sorry, go ahead, finish.
About 9 seconds of gunshot was exchanged. One police officer went down, and then another, the county sheriff, went down sometime shortly thereafter. And, of course, as we know, Christopher Murphy was killed in return gunfire. So, meanwhile, the other guy's like, I got to get out of here. He's trying to escape climbing a fence, and police actually found him. The DA says he will not be charged.
Now, the question is, one of them, obviously Murphy, we won't know because he's passed away and he's been shot and killed. But what his mindset was, you've got his friend that was, participating in the drug use, but he's not to a level where he wants to load up and fire on police.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to find out, and I'm sure we'll find out what brought you to that level.
And what was he thinking, the friend thinking, when they're doing the chase, like at speeds of over 100 miles an hour. He apparently it was like, okay, because I'm gonna still hang with you when we come back to the house, and we'll do more cocaine. So it just it doesn't make a lot of sense. Although the DA did hint yesterday in Onondaga County that there may be something in Murphy's past that could have triggered him to do this.
So something mental illness?
Well, it could be a run-in with police. He did have a DWI at one point. Could be, I don't know. And he didn't disclose what that was. I'm assuming at some point we will find out. But then to later learn that the one officer, has ties to formerly from Rome, and his family is still here. It's just terrible.
I mean, it does hit home
it's terrible
for a lot
all
of
the way
people.
around. Don't get me wrong, but it hits home for us even more than we had originally thought.
I saw that a client of mine, who I'm actively working with, was friendly. If it was at least acquaintances with Lieutenant Michael Jensen, Officer Michael Jensen, because they played hockey together.
Also, they say that several Rome police officers, and I would imagine probably Utica as well, but several Rome police officers, or at least a handful, were had gone to the academy with him, so they knew him. So this affects everybody. Anyway, terrible story, and
you can watch the full press conference. You can see tributes from Syracuse Police, and actually Manlius Fire and EMT did a tribute for Lieutenant Michael Husak on our website, WIBX950.com.
Let's see. The governor says they have a deal.
Oh, a budget deal.
There
Very
is a
good.
budget deal in place. It's a handshake. She expects they'll be voting on it later on in the week. But feels it's done. We're talking about $237 billion.
That's all?
It's a lot of money.
Oh,
and I believe that's probably a record, but $237 billion with a B. And she's all happy about it. Thinks she got her housing thing. That was one of the big sticking points. They are. We'll see where everybody falls on education, but this year the changes won't occur. But next year, the thought is for the smaller districts. If you're a district with low enrollment, beware. I almost feel like they're going down this road where they want to
consolidation and closure.
They want that.
Wow.
I almost feel that way because they're talking about why should we be spending aid on empty chairs? Is what what the governor had said yesterday. So where do we go with all of this, right? Where do we go?
That would be a very interesting and controversial situation.
I know you're going to be shocked by this, but we actually have Governor Hochul to explain some of this to us here this morning.
On the air, huh?
She's ready to chat this morning. We do appreciate it. Good morning, Governor Hochul. Good morning.
Good morning, Bill Keeler. This is your Governor, Kathy Hochul, and yes, congratulations are in order as we now have a $237 billion budget deal.
Well, congratulations, Governor. Although some have criticized you spent a little way too much, a lot of
too
money.
Bless him. Tell Griffo to shut his tomato pie hole.
Okay.
We're spending money in important places on new housing, millions of dollars on migrants.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we're pulling from schools with empty chairs.
What about bail reform?
Yes, we're having more state troopers who will focus on retail crime. My idea is that they try to talk the would-be thief out of stealing.
Okay.
We feel that's a great deterrent.
I'll bet. Talk them out of stealing?
That's right.
Early intervention.
We feel arresting them is a waste of time because they're going to be back out on the street the next day anyway. So we're trying to talk them out of it, trying to prevent the crime before it happens.
By talking them out of it.
I like it.
Exactly.
Wow.
Keeler,
Wow.
I'm sorry, but I have to go. I'm putting my handprint into the very expensive concrete today at the new Buffalo Bills Stadium.
Well,
that's nice.
Congratulations, Governor.
Ah, yes. A handshake agreement is only as good as the handshake itself, Keeler. Remember,
That's true.
with this downstate Democrat, they'll shake your hand with one arm and stab you in the hoo-ha with the other.
Oh, boy.
Have a great day, and by the way,
Oh,
tell
boy.
Head in Rome I hear all that Governor Hot Mess stuff she puts out. Reminder, she used to be one of us. She's as responsible as I am.
Okay.
Goodbye now.
Goodbye now. And in Rome,
Those are fighting words there.
the governor is calling you out. Wow. You can't trust. What was that quote? I'm not sure I would even want to repeat it. I don't know if you're able to. We're up on YouTube, and everything is a new work in progress here. Brand new studios. This is now Studio A. I guess B is anywhere. It's almost like the Air Force One, right?
Right, yeah. Air Force Two would be the vice president.
That'd be the vice president.
Or, yeah,
So
but
it's
anywhere
not
the
like
president
that.
is would be Air Force One.
Yeah, so maybe that doesn't apply. Anyway, so the deal is that brand new studios, state of the art, and we're still kind of getting used to it and getting in and figuring everything out. And we have a brand new FM signal, 92.3 FM.
Yeah, it sounds good. I was out in Barneveld yesterday getting it loud and clear. And because before with 106.9, we were kind of bleeding. And when you get to Barneveld, you were kind of bleeding. So that doesn't happen anymore.
Bleeding as in other stations were bleeding.
The other, yes, exactly.
Yeah. So with that said, you can check that out, 92.3 FM. We, of course, the app's still going, WIBX 950. It's absolutely free. Davey, you okay in there? Oh, can you not hear us? I guess now I have him up. I had the wrong pod up.
Do you have me now?
I got you. You okay? Your arms are flailing in there.
Oh, yeah, I'm okay.
What's wrong?
Oh, nothing.
You don't want to talk about it.
Oh, you want to talk about
He's
it.
mad over the Yankees.
Oh, they played. Oh, don't even get me started.
Well, forget about how they played, but John Sterling is leaving.
That is big news.
This happened with was there any warning with this, Davey?
Well, he's been off for the last week.
I know. Yeah.
I think it's health. I think it's a health
So
problem.
Michael K said
no.
Michael K was very clear when on the TV broadcast last night, because I had thought the same thing immediately. And
why would you listen, think about this.
I know, but
it's the third week of the season.
He was
second
calling
week
games.
of the season.
The last time he called a game was when they played the Blue Jays at Yankee Stadium.
Which was on April 7th. Was the last game he called.
So he was lowering his load,
Yes.
his workload.
Yes.
That he was doing, and we know that. But I find it very odd that out of the blue, after starting the season, he's like, you know what? I'm retiring effective immediately.
Yeah, Michael K said that when he talked to him, he was basically saying, I just don't like the trip to the stadium anymore. I don't like the trip back from the stadium anymore. I'm 86 years old, 85 years old, and or he'll be 86 on July 4th, and he just doesn't want to. He loved his time in the booth, but he just doesn't want to do it anymore.
Doesn't want to do it anymore. All right,
I just decided that I don't want to do it anymore.
And they're already going to honor him on Saturday.
Yeah, I mean, they're not screwing around. This is moving.
What a nice thing they're going to do for me.
This is very, very
out in left field.
This is very fast.
We won't be hearing any. It is high. It is far. It is gone. The Yankees win.
Well, you're
That
right.
sounded pretty good.
You will not be hearing that anymore. I can't believe it.
Well, hopefully, him leaving isn't the reason that they played so terribly yesterday. I mean, in the last two games, errors and walks have led to 4 runs, which have been the deciding factor in both games.
We're not going to be able to hear a Judge in Blast anymore, or him singing Giancarlo Stanton.
Or it's Glaber Day.
Yeah, or his stupid call for Juan Soto.
I would say that there's got to be some reason beyond, you know what, I just woke up today and decided I was going to do the whole season, and now I've decided after a couple of games I'm done.
Well,
it does seem very odd.
You either decide to retire, before the season, at the conclusion of a season, maybe even the All-Star break.
Yeah.
That's almost,
maybe they've been kind of trying to get him to retire, and he's been no, and finally he's like, you know what, screw it, I'm going to do it. I don't know. A New Hampshire man is fate. Did you see over the weekend they had a big Jimmy Buffett? It might have been Thursday. They had a big Jimmy Buffett tribute out in California, and it was filled with huge celebrities. You never would have known how many people were huge Jimmy Buffett fans.
Big supporters.
Did you see it, Davey?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Did you hear the big news yesterday from CBS, though? They're going to re-air the Billy Joel.
They are. So here's what happened. The Billy Joel concert from Madison Square Garden aired on Sunday night on CBS.
Yeah, I missed it.
At 11 p.m., they broke away from the beginning of, or maybe a quarter of the way through Piano Man. They broke away for local news. And they say they were supposed to stay with it like you would for the Oscars or whatever. And then your local news will follow.
Well, the Masters was supposed to get over at 7. That didn't get over until 7:30.
So maybe that did, but now they're saying, oh, this was a huge mistake, and because of it, we're required to play it again. And so Friday night, they're going to play it again. My guess is, I don't know, this sounds publicity. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, they probably shouldn't have. There's
looking
probably
for a reason to play it again.
I think they're probably looking for a reason. Is that, that's probably not the worst thing in the world for CBS.
No, but I think if it's on CBS, it's probably on Paramount Plus. That's probably where I'll end up having to check it out.
There was also an unbelievable story I saw on the nightly news last night that was there are apparently people coming in from South America. They're flying in on a tourist visa.
Mm-hmm.
And they're professional, like military-style professional thieves. And they're going to really expensive neighborhoods, and they're, like 5 or 6 of them, and it's like a clandestine type thing.
Oh, good.
And they're going in, and they're pulling out safes. They're wearing masks, so they're looking up at the cameras and laughing at the security cameras and all of that. But they're coming in larger numbers, and they're going in and just knocking off all these big properties.
That's awesome. It's almost like we said, come and steal from us.
Come steal, please. And as a matter of fact, we're going to let you into the country on a tourist visa, 90 days. You can stay here for 90 days. And then get your loot and get out.
Yeah, ship it out and get out of here.
By the way, we also have our normal phone number back, 315-736-0186. So if you want to give that a try later this morning, we'll do Habaika's free money question of the day. I believe it's $200 today because Habaika's not here. Davey, you good with that?
What am I good with?
$200 today because Habaika's not here?
Sure.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Sure, that's where we're going. Yesterday, Habaika was here. We could only do 100. So 200 today. A man accused New Hampshire of he's facing several charges after police said he shot a gun in the breakdown lane when he ran out of gas. Was this just out of frustration? And
he was likely, yeah.
Yes, he said, I admit I was driving under the influence. Here's some audio from police scanners while dealing with Richard Cruz Rodriguez as he's firing off his weapon.
With a handgun on the side of the road, shooting into the ground to the grassy area.
Northbound at .6, right-hand side, males outside the vehicle, wearing flannel shirt and jeans.
Yeah. Don't know what was going on there. A guy in Canada is being harassed by someone who keeps sending him pizza. Now, normally I would say
I don't
think that's such a bad thing.
Yeah, but when they do this all the time, it's a prank. They'll send like 10 at a time, and then they have to pay for them.
And they have to pay for it. So far, they have sent to his house thousands of dollars worth of pizza. And he just has had enough. The pizzas keep coming. Why doesn't he just call up these pizzerias and say, I didn't order it. Do not send anything to me.
On a do not deliver list?
What's wrong, Davey?
Can you turn my mic off, please?
Oh, I can, yeah. Yeah, thank you. You scare the daylights out of me when you do that. Anyway, around they're saying about $1,000 worth of pizza. The pizzas keep coming to his home and to his work. Here's the victim, Justin Rybicki, and a police officer talking about as Andrew said, it's a prank, talking about the prank.
So I checked my emails and it had an order that I never ordered. So then we told them that it wasn't me that ordered the pizzas. So that's when we called the head office of Pizza 73 and told them that anyone with the name Justin Rybicki cancel the orders.
The suspects that are ordering the pizza are actually obviously using technology to spoof his number, which they know. So when they call it, it's coming up as him.
I never dated anyone, so it's not that. And I hope karma gets you someday and delivers pizza to your house.
So, I mean,
Poor
he
guy.
seems like a nerd.
Never dated anyone
and I feel
before.
bad for him. He's never dated anybody. I mean, you
Poor
know,
guy.
I've always believed there's somebody out there for everybody. So there's probably some lonely, nerdy female out there in Canada who can't find anybody either.
Well, it's also a matter of sometimes those people that there's one for everybody. And they don't want to accept that one type of person.
Yeah.
And they're picky when they shouldn't be.
That's why they make Delilah.
Delilah.
She brings everybody together, doesn't she?
I used to have people deliver pizzas to my house. And you know what I did? I just ate those pizzas. That's all.
And I love this. The next innovation in doorbell cameras, forget Ring, a device that is armed to shoot things at unwanted visitors coming to your home.
What type of things?
It is called Paint Cam Eve.
Oh, boy.
Which shoots paintballs and cartridges of tear gas at anyone who is coming towards your home.
Tear gas?
And they don't. And if you don't want them there, you can fire at them.
Wow.
Legally, apparently. Here's audio.
An AI-powered robotic security system equipped with an integrated paintball launcher, face recognition, and sound dispatchers, which allows me to recognize intruders and stop them in their tracks.
You are identified as a non-authorized personnel. You have 5 seconds to leave the property.
Zero compliance. Zero tolerance.
Well, there it is. There is no screwing around.
Wow.
My wife and I actually have a whole system in place, and it's always heated. In the top floor of our house, and it's a window right over. There's a window right there, right over the doorway. We actually always keep a big pot of hot boiling tar.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, at any point, we're able to pour it right over there. It's a throwback. It's a throwback.
And if that
method.
doesn't work, you can use the catapult.
That's right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You ought to see the cannon we have for the backyard. Owners of O.J. Simpson's white Bronco are looking to sell, and they want at least, listen to this, $1.5 million for the Bronco now that he's dead.
Get out.
It's the 30th anniversary of the Bronco chase, and there's been renewed interest since O.J.'s death. Were you showing me some memes the other day?
Yeah, like
what was the white Bronco?
O.J.'s last ride, and it was a Bronco, but it was
a hearse.
extended. It was a hearse.
Yeah. I also thought the meme you showed me the other day of
so it was
of the eclipse, and it said an NFL referee preparing for next season.
He's looking at the eclipse
without glasses. I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
Anyway, the owners of O.J. Simpson's white Bronco are looking to sell. They want $1.5 million or more. It's the 30th anniversary of the Bronco chase. Funny how O.J. waited to die until his 30th anniversary. And there's been renewed interest since his death. To refresh everyone's memory of the chase, or maybe if you weren't around, or maybe if you were 5 like Andrew in 1994, there was actually an old Bob Rivers song on the O.J. chase. Have you ever heard it? Yeah.
No, I've never
Bob
heard
Rivers did, like, he had the Christmas album out where walking around in women's underwear to the Christmas, like a Christmas song.
Yeah.
He had all those type songs. Anyway, here's a little piece of the
TV said the juice must have gone plumb loco when there's cop cars chasing the white Ford Bronco. Have you heard the story of the low-speed chase and the SWAT teams waiting at O.J.'s place? That story is true. It's sad to say I was watching the game when they cut away.
There was a game on, I forgot.
To give up, and the media set up their satellite trucks, had 18 cameras at City Hall. Then O.J.'s lawyer began to stall.
I think it was was that a Monday night or was that a Friday night? The O.J. thing, Davey. Do you remember?
It must have been. If it was a football,
Well,
it was a football game they cut away from.
It might have been a baseball game. I don't remember.
All of a sudden, in a wink of an eye, that Bronco was spotted on 405 on CNN and the Network's 3. The flashing taillights was all you could see. Now the Rockets and Knicks were in Game 5 when O.J. started that fateful drive. His four-way hazard lights were blinking, and no one knew what the juice was thinking.
NBA.
Oh, it was NBA game?
Yeah, Rockets and Knicks.
Okay, so it could have been Friday night.
Yeah.
It was either, I know it was a non-work night because we were, it was a night to watch.
You were celebrating.
You couldn't get away from the TV.
Well, the newsman said he'd lost his sense, said insanity'd be his best defense, but they knew this show was awfully hot, so they jockeyed around for action shots. There was psychoanalysts and personal friends begging the Jews to turn himself in. CV copters high above and cops in the bushes dressed like shrubs. Fans were cheering from the side of the road. One man yelling out, "Go Juice, go!" Waving signs when Al pulled in. 95 million people tuned in. And so they took a mugshot and threw him in jail. And Time magazine thought he looked too pale. But the network's planning a brand new show. Cop cars chasing a white Ford Bronco.
That was amazing. Great song, but that was amazing how that whole thing went down.
And then there's the recent resurgence of the Bronco, a new body style, and it was brought back by Ford.
I mean, that's a Jimmy Fallon
popular
has,
vehicle. Yeah.
Jimmy has one of those.
And Dana Nimey has one.
What is Congress doing related to the ongoing issues in the Middle East? Boy, you have Israel saying, yeah, I know you don't want me to do anything, but I'm probably going to. We're gonna have to respond to Iran. So are we on the doorsteps of World War III, for God's sakes? Ryan Schmelz coming up from Fox News Radio in a second. Also this morning, Dr. Ken Hall is on. We might hear from Kathy Hochul again. Anything is possible. Isn't it amazing how she's willing to call us now?
I know. All of a sudden, out of the blue.
Do you remember when she'd come on the air with us? We'd talk to her, and now all of a sudden, she stopped calling after she became governor.
Yeah, when she was just a lowly lieutenant governor.
She's back to calling again, and we're really happy for it. Yesterday, Hochul called out Bill Morehouse and the city of Utica on the charges that they are imposing on the school district
for tax collection. Yeah,
for not only the collection of it, but the management of it, all of that, everything that goes. And it's something they used to. There was a nominal fee, but now they want to raise the price of that. So Hochul says that will hurt the district and certainly change their budget. Morehouse is responding. We'll get him today. Sheriff Rob Maciol is on today. The loss of 2 law enforcement members in Syracuse. It's a brotherhood. It affects everyone, and it really should affect all of us, whether you're in law enforcement or not, or have a family member in or out. Also, County Executive Anthony Picente will talk about the impact of the World Championships, the IIHF World Championship Tournament, the amazing impact. And I got to tell you, if you go to our website right now, you can find some incredible photos if you're looking like for the photo of the 2 weeks, it's somewhere in the collection by Nancy Ford.
She's just amazing.
Her stuff is so good. It's up on our website at WIBX950.com.
Fraudulent tax returns due to identity theft increased by 30% in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. Their U.S.-based restoration specialists are dedicated to helping solve identity theft issues, and all plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which means if you lose money because of identity theft, LifeLock will reimburse you up to the limits of your plan. Help protect your information with LifeLock. Go to LifeLock.com and save up to 25% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code.
Replacing your roof isn't a decision you take lightly. You want industry standards met with affordable options and a crew who knows how important a sound roof is to you and your family. Dennis Padula & Sons Roofing is your hometown roofers with deep roots in our community. Padula Roofers specialize in residential roofing projects. They're a GAF-certified master elite roofing contractor who keeps their standards above the rest. Call 315-733-1564 to find out more about their Roofs for Troops mail-in rebate. Dennis Padula & Sons Roofing, your hometown roofers.
If spring allergies keep you trapped inside, then you need Navage Nasal Care to keep you breathing clearly and enjoying all the beauties of spring. Navage helps clear nasal passages that are often clogged because of seasonal allergies. Navage gently flushes a pure, refreshing saline solution through your nasal passages to clear out congestion, sucking out that springtime pollen and other irritants trapped in your nose. Navage is available online at Navage.com or in stores at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, and Target. Navage, NAVAGE.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code PIPE to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code PIPE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code PIPE for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
This is Keeler in the Morning. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Yeah. Don't know if you've seen the weather forecast, but it looks like today's going to be a pretty nice day, although it's not going to be that warm. We'll get up near 60 degrees, and I'll take it. Actually, yesterday it warmed up just a little bit yesterday.
Warmer than expected. And when the sun's out, it does feel warmer. So it'll be like low 60s, but it may feel warmer.
But I'm going to tell you, I'm looking forward. We're still seeing temperatures that are like, okay. Oh, I see that.
Where you could pick the number on.
Can you stop that for me? I thought I might be able to hit that to stop the bed, but apparently not. Anyway,
no, you either hit the stop or eject here.
I am looking at temperatures going forward, and next week we're back in the upper 50s. That's it. 1 year ago, on April 13th, 14th, and 15th, last year, it was 85 degrees and sunny.
On
Do you
this
remember?
day last
Do you remember
year?
this? Yeah. This past weekend, it was 85 and sunny. We had opened our pool because I saw the extended forecast, and the guys over at Tucker's
they came
pool
right
and
over.
Spa, they're like, "Yeah, we'll open that up for you," and opened the pool, and we were in the pool on April 13th with 85-degree temperatures.
Beautiful thing.
And then the rest of May was just a nightmare. I seem to recall. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. All right. Ryan Schmelz on the phone line right now from Fox News Radio. Ryan, stand by. I just got to figure out where I'm bringing you up. It's right here.
New studios, Ryan.
I think I have you now. Hi, Ryan. Good morning. Good morning.
I'm just happy you got the old phone number back.
Old, right. We have more
instead of
people.
being sent to voicemail all the time.
Just imagine what that was like for us, though. So we have a makeshift studio in the basement, and our phone lines, instead of using a normal phone system, we were passing around iPhones. So you would call, and they'd plug in the iPhone, and then somebody else would call, and they'd be beeping through, and we'd get them to call the other iPhone, and we just kept switching them back and forth.
And then you'd hear the call waiting tone on the air.
It was a mess.
Yeah.
Well, it worked, though. Nothing is more of a mess than what's going on in Washington these days. And then around the world, right? We have a crisis. We're at the doorstep, it seems, of World War III, for God's sakes.
Hey, well, we always say that we're a mess. Then all of a sudden we see what Israel has to deal with in terms of Iran sending drones their way and all that. So, yes, it certainly is. It's a conflict around the world, and we're not the only country dealing with issues right now. And certainly, I think the threat from Iran and some of the other concerns that are plaguing Israel right now and Ukraine are really building this sense of urgency in Washington.
Yeah.
Have there been any reports about why the White House is discouraging any retribution?
Well, do you need a report?
World War III?
No. World War III.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's... I think that
it also could let them go forward.
But we're trying to somehow, Ryan, and we can maybe you can talk about this, trying to somehow find a balance of not letting them off the hook, which is why Biden is trying to say, hey, we knocked down 99% of everything that came in, But if Israel, I mean, we will have to come in. It completely expands this, and who knows where that goes. The fear is, just as you said, World War III.
Yeah, and of course you have to keep in mind that, there hasn't been an attack yet on Israel's soil. There's been attempts by Iran, and there certainly are accusations that Iran has either fueled Hezbollah or fueled Hamas in terms of whether it's financial or some type of assistance in that regard. But, until then, I think it's kind of a posturing game, and also a let's get the strength there to Israel, let's get the strength there to Ukraine, so they can both continue fighting.
Yeah. I do think that what Israel is probably going to do is come up, although Iran is saying any response will mean an immediate an attack immediately. But I almost feel like Israel is going to come up with some way to say, look, we responded, yet it's not enough to provoke. Almost really what Iran did. They kind of knew that this was all going to be shot down with Israeli defense, but I think they're going to. Hopefully, that's what they do. Otherwise, who knows what could happen?
Yeah, no, I mean it's hard to really know what's going to be happening and all that. So it's all just up in the air right now. And right now, all we can really focus on, at least at my end of the thing, is what Congress is going to do and how Speaker Johnson is going to respond and how his plan looks, how his party reacts to it, and how everyone else reacts to it.
Yeah. There is the political fallout here, so very interesting. Well, it is one of those things where Israel may respond quickly, but it also might be sometime down the road.
Yeah,
so
we don't know
waiting.
We don't know we don't know what Israel's truly going to do.
Yeah.
They've got they're currently fighting a war against Hamas, and I think a lot of their focus is there. But whether or not that means bringing Iran into this, or if they just decide to use peace through strength and prepare for the next attack, and God forbid we just hope there isn't one at all. But it's just still hard to know.
This is something to think about, too, and we don't know, but Mike piping in here. Don't be surprised if Israel does not launch a military attack, but launches a cyber attack, which could very well be possible. You don't know. But meanwhile, all of this in Washington is going on in the midst of a presidential election, in the midst of a former president on trial in New York City. This is ground we've never walked on before.
Is it? I don't know. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to really know.
It's hard.
There's a lot, and I mean, this is my first Congress, so let's keep that in mind. And apparently, everyone's telling me I picked a heck of a first Congress to show up for. So,
you did. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, you could call it that.
Yeah. All right. Wow. That's all I can say. Ryan Schmelz, as always, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Of course, guys. Thank you as always.
Thank you. And then I hit that button to drop, right? That'll drop it, Andrew?
Yes, it will.
All right, I'm learning. It's taking me a little while, but I'm learning. Yeah, this is, these are scary times. Meanwhile, you don't know what capability. You kind of wonder if maybe Iran was like, all right, we're just going to send some rockets and missiles and some drones. Let's see how they can handle it. And you had to be thinking they're watching very carefully to see how Israel and the United States and other allies defended against that, and really learning from that.
Well, I could tell you it's not going to be the last of it.
No, you are probably absolutely right. Probably absolutely right. Well, maybe I'll make it absolutely right. Not put in the probably. All right, we have news coming up top of the hour. I will get in there with Dr. Kent Hall coming up in a little bit. Also, this is going to be very interesting with Bill Morehouse next hour. We'll get to all of that as well here on Tuesday morning. First news with Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
From the Stanley Theater Studios, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
They're still trying to pick a jury in New York. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Day 2 of the first Trump criminal trial.
All of the legal pundits, all of the legal scholars today, there's not one that I see that said this is a case that should be brought or tried. It's a scam. It's a political witch hunt.
Fox's Eric Shawn's outside the courthouse.
Yesterday, more than half of the jurors who were called, well, they said they could not be fair or impartial to the former president, or they had a conflict and can't serve as a juror on his case. Turns out that when the jurors were called into the courtroom yesterday, more than 50 of the 96 were dismissed. They raised their hands when they were asked if they could not be impartial to the defendant.
The former president is charged with falsifying records related to 2016 payments to keep quiet an alleged affair he denies. Israel's war cabinet's meeting again today after its military leader said they will respond to Iran's attack, though most of the missiles and drones were shot down by Israel or the U.S. and our allies.
As military planning continues, Israel's foreign minister, Israel Katz, is trying to lobby countries around the world to put new sanctions on Iran's missile programs in order to pressure the Islamic Republic following this assault against Israel over the weekend.
Fox's Trey Yingst in Tel Aviv. The House Republicans plan today to hand the Senate impeachment articles against the Homeland Security Secretary, alleging Alejandro Mayorkas ignored laws allowing record illegal immigration. Democrats say they have no case. It's a sham and may not even hold a trial. They found another body in the river in Baltimore near the wreckage of the collapsed bridge that came down when a ship ran into it last month. It's the fourth of the 6 bridge workers killed, 2 others still missing underwater.
The person with knowledge of the ship's timeline says it had electrical issues prior to leaving the port of Baltimore. The FBI wants to find out if federal laws were followed by the dolly.
That's Fox's Gernal Scott. The city of Baltimore is also considering a lawsuit. America's listening to Fox News.
Don't let everyday aches and pains keep you from living your best life.
I don't think I really understood what people meant when they talked about pain until I started feeling it myself.
Start feeling better every day with Relief Factor, a daily supplement designed to support your body's fight against aches and pains.
Not only do I move better without pain, I just feel better.
Created by doctors, Relief Factor uses a unique formula of natural ingredients that target 4 metabolic pathways to address pain. Relief Factor doesn't just mask aches and pains, it helps reduce or even eliminate them.
Today, I do the things I love, and it doesn't occur to me to think about pain.
You can feel the difference all day, every day.
Join the over 1 million people who have tried Relief Factor's 3-week Quick Start Kit. It's only $19.95 and comes with our Feel Better or Your Money Back guarantee. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
While Israel gets ready to respond to Iran's weekend attack, President Biden keeps urging restraint and that the U.S. would not participate. He sat down with Iraq's leader discussing the situation in the Middle East and the U.S. presence there.
The governments of the U.S. and Iraq are in talks over what the American troop presence will look like in Iraq moving forward. About 2,000 U.S. forces remain in the country at the invitation of Baghdad to help defeat ISIS and other terror threats.
Our partnership is pivotal for our nations, for the Middle East, and I believe for the world.
President Biden says he wants that partnership to also include trade and energy independence for Iraq.
That's the goal we share today with you.
At least 1 missile fired from Iran towards Israel over the weekend was shot down by U.S. forces in Erbil, Iraq. At the White House, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
On Wall Street, we are seeing stock futures mixed so far today after another sell-off. The Dow's 6th loss in a row. It fell 248 points yesterday. The Nasdaq dropped 290. The NBA playoffs start tonight with the Western Conference play-in games. The winner of the Lakers versus Pelicans gets the 7th seed. On Thursday, the loser will play the winner of tonight's Kings-Warriors game. Caitlin Clark is going to the WNBA.
The Indiana Fever selected Clark with the #1 pick of the draft after 4 spectacular seasons at the University of Iowa. The last 2 years have been all about Clark in women's college basketball as she led the Hawkeyes to back-to-back national championship game appearances and became the NCAA's all-time leading scorer. Joe Morgan, Fox News.
On the ice, the New York Islanders won to clinch a playoff spot. The New York Rangers also won to clinch the top playoff seed with the NHL's best record. And Edmonton star Connor McDavid got his 100th assist in the Oilers' win over the Sharks. Just the 4th player with 100 in the season ever. The others are legends, Gretzky, Lemieux, and Orr. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good morning, WIBX 950 News Time, 7:05. I'm Andrew Dominio. Right now, it is 35 degrees under mostly clear skies. Your full weather forecast is coming up. This update brought to you by the new Destination Kia of Utica on Commercial Drive in Yorkville. The names of 2 law enforcement members killed in a shootout in Salina have now been released. On Sunday night, Syracuse police officer Michael Jensen and Onondaga County Sheriff's Department Lieutenant Michael Husak died in the line of duty after being shot by an AR-15 at an address on Darien Drive. It wasn't the AR-15 that shot them. The shooter, 33-year-old Christopher Murphy, did. He was killed in an exchange of gunfire. Police had gone to the area to look into a report of a stolen vehicle. The motive for the ambush is unclear. An investigation is still underway into what sparked a fatal fire in Madison County. Crews were called to a home on Center Road in Madison yesterday and arrived to find the residents engulfed in heavy flames. Once the blaze was knocked down, the remains of 75-year-old Lonnie Gates was discovered inside. No one was injured, and it does not appear the fire is suspicious. Central New York Congressman Brandon Williams has announced he'll be resuming in-person town hall meetings. The first such gathering is happening on April 25th at VVS High School in Verona. The dates of additional meetings during the spring and summer months are still being worked out. The Republican Williams represents the 22nd District, which covers all of Onondaga and Madison counties and parts of Cayuga, Cortland, and Oneida counties. Is currently seeking another term in office. We have an update on that Little Falls fire investigation. The City of Little Falls Fire Department responded to a fire with explosion at 74 Moreland Street at 4:34 in the morning on Sunday. According to a release, upon arrival, there was fire coming out of the second-floor windows on the front of the loss, that being a total loss fire. A second alarm was sent, bringing Herkimer Fire, Ilion Fire, and Movac to the scene, along with the backfilling our station with Salisbury Fire. After the fire was extinguished, New York State Office of Fire Prevention and Control was brought in to investigate, and it was determined that a situation appeared to be of hazardous materials in an unknown state. The hazmat crew removed the materials. A girl was injured during the evacuation, according to officials. She was transported to the Little Falls Hospital, where she was treated and released the same day. No other injuries were reported from the incident. And customers are harder to please post-COVID-19. That's according to recent Gallup polling, which found that customers had grown accustomed to curbside pickup, at-home delivery, remote appointments, and other conveniences that were adopted during the pandemic. Shoppers are also frustrated with high prices. 43% of workers said customers are more demanding since the start of the pandemic, and 28% said customers have greater expectations for remote or virtual services. It is 7:08. Your weather forecast is brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. Visit clintontractor.net. We are expecting today mostly sunny skies. Highs will be in the lower 60s. Overnight, we can expect lower temperatures, obviously. Clear skies, lows in the lower 30s. Then a chance of rain showers tomorrow with an increase in clouds. Highs will again be in the lower 60s. You can always get the full 5-day forecast at WIBX950.com. Right now, it's 35 under mostly clear skies at 7:09. Sports brought to you by IBEW NECA 43. Local contractors. Legal troubles are continuing to mount for Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice. A new lawsuit in Texas is seeking over $1 million in actual damages and $10 million in punitive damages by a pair of people who claim to have been injured in a 6-vehicle crash last month in Dallas. The plaintiffs allege that Rice and SMU wideout Teddy Knox raced their vehicles at high speeds well beyond the speed limit, which led to the 6-vehicle crash. According to police, Rice and Knox are both facing 1 count of aggravated assault, 1 count of collision involving serious bodily injury, and 6 counts of collision involving injury. Meanwhile, Daniel Jones is still working his way back from a torn ACL. The Giants quarterback is progressing in his rehab and is expected to be cleared for training camp. Jones said while at the team facility on Monday, he is hoping to be healthy enough to participate in some drills with his teammates later this spring. The 26-year-old tore his right ACL in a Week 9 loss to the Las Vegas Raiders. He underwent surgery in late November and is expected to recover in 8 months. He's recently progressed with his movements, dropbacks, and quarterback-specific drills. The Indiana Fever selected Caitlin Clark with the number 1 pick in the 2024 WNBA draft. The former Iowa guard set numerous records during her career with the Hawkeyes. In her senior season, Clark became the all-time NCAA Division I men's and women's scoring leader. She also achieved the most three-pointers in a single season by any male or female Division I player and became the first player in NCAA tournament history with 3 career 40-point games. Locally, Daisha Fair of the Syracuse University Orange women's team, she was selected 16th overall in last night's draft in New York City. She'll join the reigning league champion Las Vegas Aces. Fair grew up in Rochester, finished her collegiate career as the third leading scorer in NCAA Division I women's basketball history. The WNBA's 2024 campaign begins May 14th. And unfortunately, Yankees lost. The Mets won. So the Yankees have dropped 2 in a row, while the Mets have won 2 in a row. And it looks like they're back to 800, they being the Mets. And the Yankees' record
By the way,
moves
the Mets
to 12-5.
In their last 10 games, the Mets are 7-3. So after starting out 0 you're shaking that off, Davey. I see you shake that off. Like, give me a break.
The Mets? Yeah.
Give me a break.
Shake it off. Shake it
I'm
off.
just saying
they're the second team in New York City.
They are. Well, maybe this year you may be right, but maybe you'll be wrong.
And that's the thing about the baseball season. Of course, us Yankee fans, we got really excited. We're like, "Wow, this team is looking great." And then
it's
the way they've looked the last, it's very early,
very early.
But you got to look at how your team is playing, and I still think we have a lot of talent. But I mean, I don't know what the heck's going on with the infield. I mean, they can't catch a ball. Gleyber Torres cannot catch a ball. I think my sister could probably catch it a little bit better right now.
That's not being nice to your sister.
No, it's not.
And one thing Andrew forgot to mention is unfortunately
I know. I was going to get to it.
Unfortunately, the Utica City FC season came to a heartbreaking loss last night in the playoffs. They lost to the Kansas City Comets 7-5.
All right. Well, that's bad news. So we're basically all baseball now.
Good crowd.
The Comets are they're out of the playoff hunt. They're in the hunt. They're out of the circle.
Good crowd last night. I was at the game and enjoyed it.
You were there last night for the soccer game.
Yeah,
cool.
Good crowd.
All right, let me go to...
I do want to say quickly, Wayne messaging in a reminder that once Garrett Cole's healthy, we'll be in better shape.
Mike and Skyler, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning.
We earlier in the week we were talking about O.J. Simpson, and I guess they just announced in the news yesterday, following the cancer diagnosis, that his body will be cremated and his brain will not be donated for scientific research, or that CTE. They're not. The family does not want that to happen. And it's just a reminder, that the symptoms of CTE include difficulty thinking, depression, impulsive behavior, short-term memory loss, emotional instability, aggression, and a lot of athletes that, and especially depending on what their position was in football, it makes you wonder. Like once they cremate it, that question goes unanswered.
So we won't. So we won't know anything.
We won't if they decide to do it. Yeah.
I do acknowledge that CTE is serious. There's a lot of players with CTE that didn't go and allegedly butcher 2 people.
He did. Did you see he did a podcast about a month ago? Maybe it was 2 weeks ago.
Like he interviewed?
He did he was doing it. He was being interviewed, and somebody said something about, I don't know, Mike, if you saw this story, but somebody said something about, I don't know, being honest, coming clean, or whatever it was. I'll pull up the story. And
the podcaster was telling him he should come clean?
Whether it was a caller, not that he should come clean, no. But somebody brought up something, and it was vague, and OJ tried to explain by saying, "You mean like confession?" Well, no, you don't confess. He said something like that. I'll get the exact quote, but man, he walked the line when it came to some of the stuff that came out of his mouth.
Well, there was like
a couple. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead, Mike.
I was going to say a couple of things, too, that makes you want, because I know the doctor himself, the one that identified that, the one that discovered
the brain damage.
He himself said he could bet his license that he has but the other thing is O.J. Simpson himself. It said that he started fearing that he had the CTE. He actually said that himself.
Yeah, but of course he's going to say that.
And it makes you wonder,
yeah.
I mean, I can see the Goldman family not wanting that to come out.
Yeah. Right, because then it becomes a medical...
It would justify it somehow.
Yeah.
But why would the family? And I don't know. I mean, because it could... I mean, does it hurt football? Or does it just basically say, maybe we need to do some things different?
Yeah. Somebody said in a report, maybe they called in yesterday, it was Willie Waffle, said it was the greatest collapse of a career in the history of our lifetime.
Fall from grace.
Yeah.
No.
So
I just wanted to share that because I know that was...
Shirley, a slight second to Booth, who was, Lincoln.
Yeah, right.
A slight second, maybe. All right, Mike, you have a wonderful day. Thank you.
You too. Have a good day, guys.
All right, thanks so much.
All right, Mike.
All right, coming up, we'll talk to Dr. Kent Hall. Stand by for that. It's Tuesday morning. We'll also do Micah's free money question of the day. Davey has confirmed with us we are giving away is that correct?
200 smackers.
200 smackers today. Well, we're not necessarily giving it away. We're giving you the chance to win 200
Just
smackers.
give it away.
We'll get to all that coming up. Stand by. It's currently 7:17.
Jack and Amy saw a commercial where you could pick the number on each side of the bed and make it soft and firm. They went to the National store and tried it, but before they bought, they compared at Mattress Express the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort. They were thrilled that ours had 45 individual settings on each side from super soft to super firm. They loved the fact that ours had a reversible cover, cool for summer, warm for winter. They loved the fact that ours had a 25-year industry-leading warranty, and they really loved the price. Jack worked the trades his whole life. He liked his side firm. He was a 38. Elevated his head and feet, put the massage on low. He said that was perfect. Amy liked her side quite softer. She was a 24. Elevated her head a little less, her feet a little higher, and she liked the massage on high. They loved the fact that we were picking up the sales tax for them right now, and they qualified and signed up for the 5 years, no interest, no money down. Before you buy one of these national beds anywhere, just compare at Mattress Express.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
Fraudulent tax returns due to identity theft increased by 30% in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. Their U.S.-based restoration specialists are dedicated to helping solve identity theft issues, and all plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package. Which means if you lose money because of identity theft, LifeLock will reimburse you up to the limits of your plan. Help protect your information with LifeLock. Go to LifeLock.com and save up to 25% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code.
Don't miss Clinton Tractor Spring Sales Event, April 18th through the 20th. We're giving you the best deals of the season on all of our inventory. Thousands of used and new equipment in stock, all in one location. Get 0% financing on new Ferris commercial mowers, Massey Ferguson, and New Holland equipment. And trailers and used equipment as low as 5.49%. Restrictions apply. It's Clinton Tractor Spring Sales Event, April 18th through the 20th.
We are the leader in service, Clinton Tractor.
ClintonTractor.net.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Is that bad?
See the shot. I'm in the hall.
Oh, you're in there. Hello, Andrew, over there. Good morning. Good morning. Listen, Ricky Z is, you know where he was. You know where he was on Sunday night?
Where was he, Bill?
He might have even been at Madison Square Garden for the show. It was live, right? The Billy Joel show was live?
No, because I think...
Oh, it wasn't live.
They filmed it earlier.
It was filmed, taped earlier. Nonetheless,
Yes,
Ricky
sorry.
Z is a huge Billy Joel fan and plays Billy Joel like Billy Joel. It's just unbelievable how good he is. But he's also great at dealing with people and carrying on the Steet tradition of really taking care of customers. And that's Ricky Z. At Steet Ponte Mazda, their Move to Mazda sales event is underway. Drive a new 2024 Mazda CX-30 Select Sport model for only $275 a month on a 36-month lease. Or you can save with low APR financing, 0%, 1.9%, 2.9%, or 3.9% on select award-winning new 2024 Mazdas. See Steet Ponte Mazda for details. As Rick says, come in, let's make your deal on a new Mazda. From the dealership, I'm just trying to figure out, I have to have this one up, right?
No,
I do.
Yeah.
From the dealership, where was I? Yeah. From the dealership that's achieved first place nationally in customer satisfaction, Ricky Z and everybody over at Steet Ponte Mazda Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
Keeler in the Morning invites you to connect with us through telephonic communication at 315-736-0186. Or use the Call Us button on the WIBX 950 app. For additional contact methodologies, please refer to WIBX950.com.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
Hi, good morning, good morning, good morning. On the line right now is the man, the one, the only, Dr. Kent Hall.
Retired, but not tired.
Doc, good morning. Still coming on with us.
That's right.
We appreciate it.
Not tired of us, is what I
Dr.
meant to say.
Hall, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Good. I did want to ask you, just if we could, about, there are football coaches out there, legends, who say I can't think of their names right now, but they're like legendary football players who say I would never let my kid, knowing what I know today, I would never let my kid play football because of the head trauma that occurs. Talk about that just a little bit, whatever you might know about it.
Yeah, so that's a really good point, and certainly it says something when people that are intimately involved and actually get their livelihood from the game are concerned about the injuries that occur, and the acute injuries, the knee injuries and the ankle injuries and things like that are one thing, but this long term CTE makes it much worse. CTE, by the way, for chronic traumatic encephalomalacia, which is basically the repeated trauma to the brain causes areas of the brain to basically decompose. And it's not any one thing, so it's not like a stroke where you get an immediate, effect with a neurologic deficit, whether it's, difficulty speaking or, difficulty with movement or something like that. It's really micro areas that over time accumulate. And I know that, the NFL especially, but I assume the NCAA and other governing bodies are doing what they can from a protection standpoint in terms of the helmet technology and stuff. But the reality is that it's a violent sport. And honestly, there are some people who believe, I don't know whether this is true or not, although from a psychological standpoint, I could probably understand why people would say this, that actually, the increase in helmet technology actually has people using their helmets more as, I hate to say this, but more as weapons, and doing themselves damage as well as other people. But, CTE itself, from a medical standpoint, is, again, very difficult to diagnose. You basically have to do it by autopsy. But you find characteristic areas of the brain that have basically degenerated. And it does cause these wide personality swings. It can cause significant depression. It can cause, moodiness. It can cause impulsiveness. So it's really just a terrible thing.
Yeah.
And it does seem to be more with the people that are literally in football in the trenches. But then when you think about how football is played, those are the ones that actually get the repetitive, head-to-head contact. So.
And you think about what occurred with, if I say if OJ did what we all kind of think that he did do. But then you have others, Davey's a big WWE fan, and you see a lot of this stuff, steroids combined with potential head injuries and that sort of thing. You see these people that just they go crazy. And you wonder if that played a role. And I guess we'll never know because the family is not going to have an autopsy done, so we'll never know. But it was interesting watching the hockey game the other night, the USA women versus Canada, and the American woman. Do you remember her name? She was the one that just had the baby, and she made the team. Davey, do you remember her name?
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, we know. But anyway,
she
was penalized. They said it wasn't a flagrant or a major penalty.
Yeah.
But she was coming down to try to score. They took her off balance, and the defender did, and she smashed her head right into the boards.
Oh my gosh!
So, but immediately, Doc, they took her off, and she had to go and get checked out. It seems to have become a norm in athletics today.
Yeah, and those what they call the concussion protocols, those are really very good, and the diagnosis, the ability to recognize and diagnose concussions early on, essentially immediately, is much better. But again, that's after the fact. So somebody's had the concussion, and then you find it and you pull them out. For a period of time, depending upon how severe, what their symptoms are, et cetera. But again, the reality is that that's after the fact, and the injury has already occurred.
Yeah. So go ahead, Andrew.
No, I was just going to say a big factor of that being concussions. There's a lot of sports people don't think about. I think soccer is one of the number one causes of concussion for young athletes.
Yeah. All right, Doc, some other things. I still cannot get away from thinking that since COVID, everything changed, and we were doing such a great job of testing for early diagnosis of cancer, and I just cannot help but think that I see more and more cases where people have not, the cancer has developed longer than a safe level, and we're seeing more and more people pass away. It just seems to be a direct effect to the COVID and the inability to be able to get in and get these tests done. Yeah,
so I think you're right. I mean, I don't have any definitive data other than the fact that people are showing up with more advanced diseases. Cancer being one. Heart disease and lung disease also. And it would not surprise me if what you're saying is absolutely true, especially related to cancer, because those are the things where if you skip, 2 or 3 rounds of the, preventive screening, then you are much more likely to when it is found, to actually have a more advanced form, which makes it much more difficult to treat successfully. So that is something that I would definitely believe as being true. Yeah.
We just wanted to wrap by saying I think I had gotten the photo after we spoke to you last week, but your picture of the eclipse is just unbelievable.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. It was great being out there. I was in an area where there were only, I think, 3 or 4 other people. But we had a great time talking to each other and just watching it. It was just phenomenal.
Well, it was definitely awesome. So, all right, as always, we appreciate the time. We'll do it again next week, Doc. Thank you.
Good. Thanks, everybody. Have a great day, and please be safe.
Yeah, you do the same,
You too,
Dr. Kent Hall. And coming up, let me just tell you what we're going to do. We'll do a quick update on the news. Hobica's free money question of the day. In addition to that, Bill Morehouse coming on, and he will defend the city's position. Hobica yesterday saying they're getting a bit of a raw deal from the city when it comes to what the city is now wants to charge them to process tax collection for school taxes. And it's always been one way, and now all of a sudden they're raising the rate tremendously, according to Hobica. Let's see what Morehouse has to say. I have a feeling he's coming in roaring. Do you feel that way?
He's never been one to pull punches.
Oh, and I got to tell you, Kathy Hochul is reporting today that they have a budget deal in place. And
Griffo must have inspired her yesterday.
We have some details on that coming up in just a second at WIBX.
Whitesboro Central School District is looking for bus drivers to join their team. Whitesboro is a leading school system in central New York. With 7 schools, 3,100 students, and holding a 92% graduation rate, you can help drive our students' success. When you drive for Whitesboro, you get great benefits, a flexible schedule, and summers off. Perfect for retirees with extra time. Help drive our future leaders with Whitesboro Central School Transportation. Call Andy at 315-768-9740 or stop by the garage, 20 Wood Road, Whitesboro.
Whether it's food for meetings or company events, Easy Cater has everything you need to make food for work. And that means all you have to do is sit back and take credit.
Wow, a vegan and a meat lover taco bar? Jill, you're the best.
Oh, all I did was use Easy Cater.
Take the credit, Jill.
Well, I guess I sort of...
Take it.
Invented taco bars.
Too far, Jill. Too far. Easy Cater has everything you need to make food for work. 100,000 restaurants, one platform. Order 24/7 at easycater.com.
If spring allergies keep you trapped inside, then you need Navage Nasal Care to keep you breathing clearly and enjoying all the beauties of spring. Navage helps clear nasal passages that are often clogged because of seasonal allergies. Navage gently flushes a pure, refreshing saline solution through your nasal passages to clear out congestion, sucking out that springtime pollen and other irritants trapped in your nose. Navage is available online at Navage.com or in stores at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, and Target. Navage, Navage.
Brunch at Babes is the only way to spend your weekend. Bottomless mimosas, Bloody Mary flights, classic breakfasts, and some new instant classics. Boozy brunch at Babes Saturday and Sundays from 9 to 2. Breakfast quesadillas, loaded avocado toast. Babes is open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner with boozy brunch every Saturday and Sunday from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Visit us at babesutica.com.
Making my way straight to Babes.
Before you buy or take delivery of a bed where you can pick a number on each side and pick the firmness, compare to the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort at Mattress Express. Compare price, compare warranty, compare features. No appointment necessary.
Hi, this is Rob Hilton of Hilton Estate and Elder Law with important information that you should know about planning for nursing home care.
Well, the best way, of course, is to plan ahead. The key is to make sure that you make decisions far ahead of the time that you need a nursing home. Getting the basic pieces in place, including power of attorney, healthcare proxy, will, trust, all those things, and working closely with your family to make sure you're organized and ready to go in case the worst happens. You should also know there are strategies you can employ, even if you currently have a loved one in a nursing home. When there's a crisis and someone's entered a nursing home, there are things we can do to act very quickly to protect some of the assets. It really does require that an elder law attorney be involved because the techniques that are used are very technical in nature. To find out more about strategies to protect your loved ones through proper estate planning, contact us at Hilton Estate and Elder Law. Call for more information and to schedule an in-person meeting to answer your questions.
Hilton, you know the name, they know the law. Hilton Estate and Elder Law.
If spring allergies keep you trapped inside, then you need Navage Nasal Care to keep you breathing clearly and enjoying all the beauties of spring. Navage helps clear nasal passages that are often clogged because of seasonal allergies. Navage gently flushes a pure, refreshing saline solution through your nasal passages to clear out congestion, sucking out that springtime pollen and other irritants trapped in your nose. Navage is available online at Navage.com or in stores at Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, and Target. Navage, Navage.
Hey folks, Donald Trump Jr. here. Let me ask you this. Does inflation feel worse than we're being told in the news? That's because the official inflation rate doesn't tell the whole story. Since January of 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back. But what you can do is stop your losses today. How? By diversifying your savings into a gold IRA from my friends at the Birch Gold Group. When you're done, your money will be parked in a tangible asset with proven history. To see how it works, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word HEDGE to 989898. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust. They provide an easy process to roll over your 401k or IRA into gold without losing your tax advantage status. So text HEDGE to 989898. That's HEDGE to the number 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold.
Message and data rates may apply.
On behalf of IBEW Local 43 Union Electricians and Utica Contractors, we are pleased to partner with Syracuse University in providing our members with an opportunity to enhance their education at this great university.
Syracuse University's partnership with the IBEW will provide talented students the opportunity to advance their careers while shaping the future of the electrical trades and the industries they serve.
Central New York's future is bright, and the IBEW Local 43 and NECA will continue to help light, power, and grow Central New York.
Replacing your roof isn't a decision you take lightly. You want industry standards met with affordable options and a crew who knows how important a sound roof is to you and your family. Dennis Padula & Sons Roofing is your hometown roofers with deep roots in our community. Padula Roofers specialize in residential roofing projects. They're a GAF certified master elite roofing contractor who keeps their standards above the rest. Call 315-733-1564 to find out more about their roofs for troops mail-in rebate. Dennis Padula & Sons Roofing, your hometown roofers.
WIBX. This is Keeler. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM. Now back to the Keeler Show.
All right, Davey. Habaika's free money question of the day this morning. Joe Habaika, Andrew Habaika giving you a chance to win from the Habaika Law Firm each day. Yesterday we gave away $100. Today, $200 on the line. And this morning you're looking for caller. Make it low here. Something 1, 2, 3. What do you have?
Caller 3.
Oh, nice. I can't believe you came up with that. Third caller through the lines. Chance to win how much?
$200.
Caller 3 right now at 315-736-0186. 315-736-0186. We will do it next here from the Habaika Law Firm and WIBX. All right. Let me tell you about Herkimer County. It's all unfolding in Herkimer County. Explore Herkimer County diamond mines. Savor the taste of Herkimer cheese. Take a boat tour along the historic Erie Canal. And if you have a business or an event to promote, reach out to Herkimer County Development Facebook page. They're here to showcase the heart and soul of this incredible county, Herkimer County, where I grew up. History, commerce, beauty, it's all happening in Herkimer County, just around the corner. We're midway through April. And in less than a month, the food truck season gets underway. Mondays in Herkimer, downtown Chowdown, Wednesdays in Ilion. That starts on the 25th, right around Memorial Day. Fridays, Hill Path Brewery in Frankfort. Food truck season just around the corner. Old Forge events coming up. Paddle Fest is happening on May 17th through the 19th. And there's so much more. It's all happening in Herkimer County. So check it out.
Check it out.
There's much to do. And I have to say that I've certainly spent a lot of time at Herkimer Diamond Mines. And it's amazing to me, not only what you can do when it comes to, mining for diamonds and walking away with these Herkimer diamonds, which can only be found right there.
And they fly on that
in Herkimer County, but the jewelry that's sold around the world.
Yeah, when you do
is incredible.
The shoots for what is it?
Home Shopping Network.
It flies that stuff.
It flies. It's really incredible. All right, Davey, are you have a caller for me here?
Yep.
Who are we going to go with?
On number 4.
All right, the third caller, by the way, is on line number 4. And did I get him on? Oh, there he is. Hey, it's Mike and Skyler.
Yes, it is.
Oh, you're in. Okay.
I got
in like Flynn.
$200 is on the line. $200. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
You'll have 7 seconds. Here is and Andrew, you got this all worked out.
I'm ready to go.
Here is your question.
Okay.
Cinderella had sisters named Anastasia and what? Ready, go.
Anastasia and Cinderella. Oh, my God. Anastasia and Cinderella. Sisters.
Yep.
Shoot.
No, they're not sisters.
Shoot.
You should have had this. You're a Disney guy.
Drizella.
Drizella. Yeah, you're right. It was up. I don't think you can play it from that, Andrew.
I know, but
because it was up.
Cinderella is my girlfriend's favorite sister, but I favorite princess too.
So Drizella. I don't know, Andrew. I don't know.
We played it yesterday.
I played
when
it.
we won. When the caller won, I played it yesterday.
I know nothing's happening.
The opinions, viewpoints.
Now that's happening.
So maybe hold on. Let me just check something. Oh, don't be doing that.
Now it's
don't
gone.
do that.
Oh, now we're
my
screwed.
gosh.
Okay, listen. We're going to give you the food and fun card. It's the all-in-one food and fun card from the. We're just trying to figure out this equipment. We've got stuff disappearing. Not good. The food and fun card. Of course, it's good at Aquavino, Taylor and the Cook. You know the deal. Any of the stuff going on at the Adirondack Bank Center, you can check all that out as well. And, of course, it's a $25 gift card. And we will send you over to Davey, who's going to hook you up, all right?
Okay, and one last thing. Thank you for talking to Dr. Hall about that, because that was
I wanted to bring that up.
One thing I found, CTE was found in 345 of the 376 deceased former NFL players when they did do autopsy.
Wow.
That's 20.
And you never know how people react to that. That's why I forgot whether it was like Larry Zonka or I forgot who it was, but somebody came out and said, I would not let my kids play football. I don't know. Okay. All right. Thanks, Mike. Stand by, and Davey's going to hook you up there. All right. Let me tell you, yesterday we learned that Kathy Hochul has a deal done. We might be able to talk to her a little bit later on.
They've been working out her schedule. We're going to try and get her on.
We might talk to her.
Very well may.
An enormous, what are we talking? A $237 billion budget deal that they say they have, and we'll get Griffo and Brian Miller and Mary Ann, everybody on to discuss on that later on in the week as well. All right, on the line right now. Yesterday we spoke with Joe Habaika, who called out the city on increasing costs when it comes to processing taxes for the school district. And here to respond to that is Bill Morehouse. Bill, you're on in the brand new studio. Good morning.
Morning, gentlemen. And there's no ladies there anymore, so just gentlemen. I didn't hear the show yesterday, so I apologize, because usually I set my schedule by the Keeler show, of course. But,
good man. Yeah.
I don't know what Habaika said. Did he say it about the city or about me directly? Joe and I have a little bit of a history. But first, Bill, I got to say, the Mets. I want to tell you, I convinced my wife it was a good investment, over 81.5 wins for the season. I told her, and she didn't like it. But we put a large investment, Bill. We put a large investment. You can imagine when they started 0-6.
Oh, yeah. I'm with you on this. I am with you. And the way they're playing right now, like just yesterday, they fell behind. They fell behind 3-0. All of a sudden, they tied up. They win 6-3.
They're 8-8. One of my concerns is when you said 7-3 in the last 10, I said, hold on, they were 0-6, now they're 8-8. I'm a numbers guy. That has to be 8-2 in the
Well, Bill, you know, I
went on ESPN, and ESPN says 7-3 in the last 10.
I know that doesn't make any sense. I saw it this morning.
If they were 0-6 and now they're 8-8, I mean, I ran the numbers as many times as I could, as I do for the city, and I still came up with 8-2 in the last 10.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen. The reality is they're playing some good ball right now.
They won 2 in a row, and the Yankees dropped 2 in a row. I don't know what's going on.
Everybody's panicking. Although, listen, you put up a significant bet, and you begin to worry when they start out so poorly. But
I'm going to show you I'm a real fan. Don Clendenin, Wayne Garrett, Buddy Harrelson, Eddie Charles. You got A.G. Swoboda and Cleon Jones in the outfield. Seaver on the mound. Grody behind the plate. 69 Mets.
69 Mets. Yep. And Buddy Harrelson was the manager of the Little Falls Mets when they won in the New York Penn League back in '85, I believe it was. So
fantastic. 86 was awesome. This is going to be better.
I agree. All right. Okay. So basically, what Joe said yesterday is that the city always has charged, but it was a nominal charge. Now you're raising. You want to raise the rate significantly.
Well, I mean that's a negotiation. We don't have a contract. I've been there 16 years as president, common council, now chief financial officer, comptroller, and it's been $18,000 they give us annually, and they pay for postage and envelopes and stuff. We do all the labor. We do the stuffing of the bills, the printing of the bills, the collecting of the money. There's a simple solution to this, Bill, and this is what I would present. And by the way, I don't know. I heard Mr. Obika mention I sent my underling.
There was a meeting that was So he's saying what he. I believe he said was
you should have been at the meeting. Is what I think he said.
I was down on business, but Diana Corey is not my underling. She's a deputy comptroller of the city of Utica, and she runs my office for me. That's how I've been successful in business, Bill. I get good people, I bring them in, and they do the job that maybe I can't do, but I can oversee how it should be done, and I find the person that can do that.
All right.
She would have been with the city for 40 years if it wasn't for Ed Hanna ran her out of town. So she's not my underling. She runs my office. She's the boss. She's the deputy controller. I oversee the operation.
Okay, fair enough. So you say that you could propose an easy solution to this?
Yes. The first installment of the school is due by October 31st. We will pay the school their full warrant amount by October 31st. Boom, done. End of story. They want $32 million. They want $35 million. By October 31st, we'll write them a check for the full amount. They have their warrant. They're out of the picture. We'll take care of the rest. End of story.
Okay. What would
Pretty simple, Bill. Pretty simple. They get their warrant amount because that's how they base their budget. And, we never had an issue like this until certain people got involved, namely Heather Mowat, Joe Obika Jr. maybe. Joe used to work for the city back when his law license was suspended for the workman's comp fraud case. He worked for the city, so Joe should have known more about the inner workings of this. And why didn't he do something back then when he had access to the law office through economic development and stuff?
For the record, I did kind of get the swipe at Joe there. And
what was that swipe?
I don't need to say. And by the way, both you and I know that was overturned in the courts when it was all said and done. But still, all right, you're taking a swipe.
He lost his law license for 3 years, and his brother had to forfeit his law license. But if that's overturning, okay. Hey,
do you feel Bill? Do you feel that has anything to do with what we're talking about here?
Well, it has something to do with the fact that Joe Obika is a tag. He ran Ernie Sanita against me, called him he said, Billy, he's a tomato can. Come on, Billy. He didn't even live in Utica. Joe's had an issue. I grew up next door to Joe. When you're 11 years old, he was beating up Andy. I had to step in. I had to pin Joe down and say, Joe, say uncle. And ever since then, Bill, it's been a problem.
Oh, I'm sure there's a great deal of love after this phone call.
Oh boy!
All right, so you say now what would the city be charging to manage all of this and process the taxes? Would that rate go up?
Well, do you think $18,000 that's been the same over 16 years is appropriate for what we do? I mean, if you look at the numbers, if you have to hire 2 people to collect the taxes, and then who would do the foreclosures, Bill? I mean, this is a simple solution. They get their warranted amount. We take care of the rest. Yeah, would I have to take out a RAND to cover the warrant? Sure, but we'll pay that back relatively quickly. We have a great relationship with the Synods and the Bank of Utica. We've turned this city around. We've gone from a negative $15,000 fund balance to a fund balance where we could now take money out of it to keep that tax rate. I know you want to say keep it down at 14%, but we did. We kept it down at 14% because of our strong fund balance. The city is in good financial shape. And you know what a lot of that's due to, and he should be sainted, and he should be sainted immediately, Rob Ash. This guy has done more for this area than any person in my history with Utica, which is 63 years. God bless Rob Ash.
Well, what an amazing week. There's no doubt about it. Bill, I do have to ask, though, a lot of people feel that if there was going to be a double-digit tax increase that was going to be needed, that you should have stepped up and informed the public that the Mayor Palmieri was not being completely truthful.
I stepped up and tried to get some type of an increase. If I should have gone public with that, it's not and I'm not looking to undercut the mayor at the current time. He's the CEO. I'm the comptroller, separate offices, but still, we work together, and I still work closely with Mike Galimi, which is very important. That's one of the things since I came in as comptroller. It used to be this confrontation between the comptroller's office and mayor. Since I've come in and Rob came in, it's been good. The two of us have been worked hand in hand, and that's how it should be for the people. And Bill, remember, these school taxes and city taxes, it all comes from the same revenue pot. It all comes from the people. We're taking the money from the same people, whether it's for school or city. And we're doing the best we can, and we'll continue to do that. But I think the simple solution, we pay the bill in full by October 31st. They got their warrant, they got their money, and we'll take care of the rest.
One other question. Bill? You said it. You used to charge $18,000. What will the new charge be?
Well, we were talking between 50 and 100 would seem reasonable, but we have no contract. We have no contract.
That's a pretty big increase, and you're dealing with one of the poorest school districts in New York State.
Bill, take $18,000 and add 2% a year over the last 16 years. Okay, and that's enough said.
Okay, so that's where you're going. All righty,
Bill. We're not trying to handcuff the schools. They get the full amount. You got to remember, we have to make the schools whole. So every year, when I first started, we put $1.5 million in bad debt expense in the budget. We're down to like $400,000 now, but we have to make them whole. So when people stiff us on the taxes, guess who pays it?
But at the end of the day, it's almost as if you're forgetting the fact that we're talking about children here. This is the future of the city. This is the future of the country.
Our teachers are so underpaid, it's a joke. Our education system in the U.S. is a joke. I would do, as comptroller, I'm doing everything I can to make sure they get their full warranted amount, what they budget. If that's not enough, they need to raise taxes and budget more. And we're giving them the full warrant amount, and that's by state law. And, we have a good relationship with the school. I don't know why that should change. And once again, if I could just say, Diana Corey runs my office. She is not enough.
I will say you took the swipe at Hobica today and Heather Moat.
Well,
so
he needs to swipe at him.
Okay, all right. This all goes back to the days of wrestling in the front yard. All right,
absolutely.
Okay,
I should have never made him claim uncle.
Okay, Bill Morehouse, thank you. We'll talk again.
Thank you for coming on, Bill.
Thank you so much.
You bet, guys. Have a good day.
And as I look here, is it Kathy Davis and Heather Moat from the Utica School District are on line 2. Is that correct, Davey? Okay. How do I hit it? Heather and Kathy, good morning. You guys want to respond?
Good morning. Oh, yes, we do.
Okay.
So
it's unfolding live.
I'm trying to hold Joe back right now.
Oh, no. But first and foremost, I am going to say Joe Hobica is one of the finest attorneys in Utica and one of the best board presidents I've worked with in my 22 years as a superintendent. So I hope Mr. Morehouse is listening to that. In addition, I do want to say the Utica City School District taxes are collected in 2 installments right now. The first installment is due in October, the second in December. The city has historically provided real property tax collection services for the school district, but after review of our records here, there was no agreement for such service. I brought it to their attention upon my arrival, and they refused to sign an agreement that I provided for them in the 23-24 school year.
Okay.
And then they shot back a second proposal for this year with an increase of $75,000. I've checked with other city school districts. None are paying $75,000 to $100,000 for the cities to collect their taxes. None.
Yeah.
So that in itself, his methodology for where he comes up with the number, add 2%, add 2%, and add 2%, is we will reject that. However, we will accept if he wants to make us whole in 1 year. That is certainly something that we would accept. There is something that you should know about the finances on the finance side, because they have been holding our interest and shouldn't be, and holding our payments to the district. Heather, could you give some details?
Good morning, Bill. I just want to echo Dr. Davis with regards to Joe Habica. He's been a fantastic president and led us through a very, very difficult year, and he's professional and has really helped us. Just want to talk a little bit about the property tax collection. So Dr. Davis and myself, we tripped over realizing that we had not been getting our money timely. It's required to come to us within 5 days of receipt. So we collect in September. I should say the city collects on our behalf in September and November. The first installment of September historically comes after Thanksgiving. So that's a 2-month holdback of approximately $14 million. Normally we get $14 million collected in September and $14 million collected in the month of November.
Yeah.
So, that equaled this year, right? Interest rates up around 5%.
Right.
Equaled about $123,000 in possible interest the city kept on our behalf. Also, we historically would have to go out and borrow just to make payments and make payroll during that time. We would go out and borrow $10 million. So had we had that money all these years, we wouldn't have had to go out and borrow to make payroll. And so it's just when we found this, we reached out to the city early and just made them aware of it. It wasn't confrontational. But then it became a little more frustrating. The city said, we don't have to give you the money when you want it. And then, then that started legal letters going back and forth between the city's attorney and our attorney, because all we were trying to do was get our money so we could pay our bills, because that's what state law provides.
Do you? He said 50 to 100,000.
Yeah, would 50 be acceptable?
What would be acceptable?
I think would be acceptable is Mr. Morehouse to be at the table when we're having conversations about this.
Yeah.
That's what would be acceptable, and he wants to do this over the air, which is not appropriate. But I can tell you, I thank you for allowing us to have some airtime. But he had an opportunity to sit at the table the other day. He didn't show. I sat there. The mayor was polite. He was very welcoming. Diana Corey, lovely. I was challenged on my knowledge of, general municipal law. And for the record, education law can't be waived. And hopefully the city is listening. So we're not going to waive our rights under ed law to collect our taxes and to have that money go into our bank account within 5 days.
Yeah.
So that's not something that we are interested in doing. I can tell you that that is not an acceptable amount. We have done our homework. We have called other city schools. We know what the average is. And if he wants to have that conversation with me, my phone line's open. But I don't appreciate the fact that he's not at the table whenever we come over. And then, we have meetings with other people. We had meetings with Mayor Palmieri. We had meetings with our new mayor. And I walked away at both meetings and said to myself, you know what, it sounds lovely, but we're going to get the call later that the comptroller said no.
Right.
So, it's just a waste it's an hour of my life I won't get back. Let's put it that way.
I really appreciate both of you, Heather and Kathy, both coming on. We appreciate it. And ultimately, I think we all have to remember this is for the betterment of our children, for the betterment of our community. And it's you can't lose sight of that.
No, they're hurting kids. So we're here advocating for students, and to say that we should pay $100,000 is ludicrous.
All right. Ladies, thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Thanks. Wow. What are your thoughts on this? We'll get to it on the other side.
Never a dull moment.
And Bill, you did take some swipes that I'm not sure were constructive and fair. You know that's true. We'll talk more about it after news, which is straight ahead here on a Tuesday morning. First News, Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
From the Stanley Theater Studios, WIBX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
A special delivery at the Senate. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. House Republicans will today hand over impeachment articles against the head of Homeland Security.
Desperate times call for desperate measures, and Secretary Mayorkas is, in my view, the worst cabinet secretary that has ever served in the history of the United States.
And House Speaker Mike Johnson just demanded on Fox that Senate Democrats hold a trial on articles accusing Alejandro Mayorkas of ignoring laws, allowing record illegal immigration. But Democrats may dismiss the case, calling it a sham and a policy dispute. Speaker Johnson also told Fox a short time ago the House will vote this week on separate foreign aid bills.
Look, I think there's a lot of support for Israel, obviously, on the Republican side. Clearly, on the Democrat side, they have a real division over that. It's been pretty shameful, actually.
Now, another vote will be on aid to Ukraine. Some Republicans say we've given them enough. Others side with President Biden, who says Ukraine needs more support in the battle against Russia. Israel's war cabinet is meeting a second day in a row after its military leader, Herzi Halevi, said last night they will respond to Iran's weekend attack.
Iran will face the consequences for its actions.
Most of Iran's missiles and drones either failed or were shot down. The U.S. and the UN have urged Israel to show restraint. Former President Trump will soon head back to court in New York this morning for a second day of jury selection at his first criminal trial.
It's a political witch hunt. It continues, and it continues forever. And we're not going to be given a fair trial.
More than half the prospective jurors on day one were excused, telling the judge they cannot be impartial.
The former president is charged with illegally falsifying business documents to hide the scheme to sway the outcome of the 2016 presidential election by paying Stormy Daniels to keep quiet about their alleged affair. Trump denies it.
Fox's Eric Shawn outside the New York court. The Supreme Court will consider a Trump-related case. One of the convicted Capitol rioters is challenging a law used to prosecute him and hundreds of others. The obstructing an official proceeding charge is also in the Trump federal 2020 election indictment. America's listening to Fox News.
Don't let everyday aches and pains keep you from living your best life.
I don't think I really understood what people meant when they talked about pain until I started feeling it myself.
Start feeling better every day with Relief Factor, a daily supplement designed to support your body's fight against aches and pains.
Not only do I move better without pain, I just feel better.
Created by doctors, Relief Factor uses a unique formula of natural ingredients that target 4 metabolic pathways to address pain. Relief Factor doesn't just mask aches and pains, it helps reduce or even eliminate them.
Today, I do the things I love, and it doesn't occur to me to think about pain.
You can feel the difference all day, every day.
Join the over 1 million people who have tried Relief Factor's 3-week Quick Start Kit. It's only $19.95 and comes with our Feel Better or Your Money Back guarantee. Visit ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4-RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF.
President Biden is ready to hit the road today, going to a key state ahead of his Trump rematch.
President Biden kicks off his 3-day swing in Pennsylvania with a stop today in his hometown of Scranton, where his campaign says he'll highlight an economic contrast against his rival, though in a backdrop of high prices and interest rates. The president travels to the Pittsburgh area tomorrow and to speak at a campaign event in Philadelphia on Thursday in an aggressive push for support in PA, a key battleground state where former President Donald Trump held 2 campaign stops over the weekend, with the latest public opinion polls in Pennsylvania suggesting a close contest for the state's 19 electoral votes. Jeff Manasso, Fox News.
Now, yesterday was tax deadline day, and the White House released President Biden's tax return information. He and the First Lady had over $616,000 in adjusted gross income, paid $146,000 in federal taxes. Their state income tax payment for Delaware just under $31,000. A mystery solved in Florida.
Analysts from the Kennedy Space Center have determined it was a chunk of space junk that tore through the roof of a home in Naples, Florida last month. It was originally discarded from the International Space Station. The piece of metal weighed about 1.5 pounds and was about 4 inches long. NASA expected the object to burn up in the Earth's atmosphere upon re-entry, but it survived. The homeowner in Naples reports the small piece of metal hit with such force, it not only pierced the roof, but also tore up the floor. No one was home at the time. Tom Graham, Fox News.
On Wall Street, stock futures are rising. A college basketball star's gone pro.
With the first pick in the 2024 WNBA draft, the Indiana Fever select Caitlin Clark.
That's on ESPN. Caitlin Clark, of course, set a record as the leading all-time college basketball scorer. I'm Dave Anthony. This is Fox News.
Good morning. WIBX 950 News Time, 8:05. I'm Andrew Dermenio. We're reaching close to 40 here under mostly sunny skies. Your full weather forecast is coming up. This update brought to you by the leader in service, Clinton Tractor on Meadow Street in Clinton. Go to clintontractor.net for more information. The names of the 2 law enforcement members killed in a shootout in Salina have now been released. On Sunday night, Syracuse police officer Michael Jensen and Onondaga County Sheriff's Department Lieutenant Michael Husak died in the line of duty after being shot by an AR-15 operated by Christopher Murphy on an address on Darien Drive. That shooter, Christopher Murphy, was also killed in an exchange of gunfire. Police had gone to the area to look into a report of a stolen vehicle. The motive for the ambush is unclear. An investigation is still underway into what sparked a fatal fire in Madison County. Crews were called to a home on Center Road in Madison yesterday and arrived to find the residents engulfed in heavy flames. Once the blaze was knocked down, the remains of 75-year-old Lonnie Gates was discovered inside. No one else was injured, and it does not appear the fire has any suspicious nature. The Utica man accused of shooting and stabbing a man to death and then placing his body in a bathtub has been deemed competent to stand trial. Colton Schaefer's case was presented before Judge Rob Bauer Monday morning in Oneida County Court. Schaefer was taken into custody in November after authorities were called to a residence on Eagle Street. A resident living below reported observing blood seeping through the ceiling. 26-year-old Nico Rayton was killed. Schaefer is scheduled to appear in court again on May 6th. Central New York Congressman Brandon Williams has announced he'll be resuming in-person town hall meetings. The first such gathering is happening April 25th at VVS High School located in Verona. The dates of additional meetings during the spring and summer months are still being worked out. The Republican, Williams, represents the 22nd District, which covers all of Onondaga and Madison counties, and parts of Cayuga, Cortland, and Oneida counties. He's currently seeking another term in office. And the world's oldest conjoined twins have passed away. Lori and George Chappell died at the hospital of the University of Pennsylvania on April 7th at the age of 62. George, who had identified as male for the past 17 years, and his sister were joined at their foreheads. Their obituaries say George performed as a country music singer. His sister Lori had her own interests, including being an accomplished bowler. No word yet on their cause of death.
I'm still trying to figure out how that works.
They were conjoined sisters, and I think for the last 17 years, they were conjoined sister and brother.
Right. Oh, you mean they were sisters?
This story says George, who had identified as male for the past 17 years, and his sister were joined at the foreheads.
Well, it's got to be kind of, because chances are, they both had different down there.
No,
they didn't. They weren't. If they're joined at the head,
yes,
then they would have their own groinal region.
They would have their own groinal region, but from what this story says, that George,
Sheriff,
used to identify as something. Good morning.
I'm just confused. There was also a story of two conjoined twins that were joined at the waist.
Mm-hmm.
So only one set of regional area
reproductive parts,
and one was married and the other one wasn't. I mean, imagine that.
Yeah, I
feel like I'm a
interesting thing.
third wheel in this relationship. It's just driving me terrible.
Could you keep it down over there?
Yeah. So, yeah, it's just really one of the most interesting things, for me anyway, in the world.
Well, unfortunately, they've passed away
Well,
at
it's
the
very
age of
sad.
62. It is.
And they both, yes.
What's
That's good.
Keep going with that.
They both died.
Yes. That's another thing, too. What if one... And...
I don't even want to think about it.
Okay. It is coming up on 8:10. Your weather forecast is brought to you by
I have
the
enough
Stanley.
handling my one person right here. I could not imagine having to deal with somebody else.
Oh, the Stanley Center of the Arts. Tickets for their events online through Ticketmaster or their website, thestanley.org.
Here's the latest forecast for the WIBX Weather Center. I'm Mike Johnson. More spring-like weather, finally. Today, sunny skies at Pleasant, high 60. Tonight, mostly clear, low 35. Tomorrow, clouds with some sun, high 63. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Johnson from the WIBX Weather Center. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
Right now, 42 degrees under mostly sunny skies at 8:10. Sports brought to you by IBEW NECA 43, local contractors. The NBA play-in tournament is set to begin tonight in the Western Conference. LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers will visit Zion Williamson and the Pelicans in New Orleans in a matchup to decide the 7th seed. Legal troubles continue to mount for Kansas City Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice. A new lawsuit in Texas is seeking over $1 million in actual damages and $10 million in punitive damages by a pair of people who claim to have been injured in a 6-vehicle crash last month in Dallas. The plaintiffs allege that Rice and SMU wideout Teddy Knox raced their vehicles at high speeds, well beyond the speed limit, which led to the 6-vehicle crash. According to police, Rice and Knox are both facing 1 count of aggravated assault, 1 count of collision involving serious bodily injury, and 6 counts of collision involving injury. The Yankees have dropped back-to-back games after falling to the Toronto Blue Jays 3-1 in their series opener at Rogers Center. Luis Seal suffered the loss after allowing 3 runs on 3 hits and 7 walks over 5 innings pitched. In the last 2 games, the Yankees have given up 4 runs either by error in the infield or by wild pitches or walks. What the heck is going on, Davey?
They need to improve.
Yes, they do.
This could be the slide, but we don't want that.
We don't want that. They're off to a good season. They've won every series they've played this year, so let's hope that streak continues. They need to win out against the Blue Jays the next 2.
Are we going to have to listen to this with you two all year long? Oh, my God.
Hold on. I'm getting to your team. The Mets have won back-to-back games after pushing past the Pittsburgh Pirates 6-3 at Citi Field. Adam Ottavino earned his first victory of the season after striking out 2 batters over a scoreless inning of relief. They are now at an even 500 and are 3rd in the NL East. They'll continue their 3-game set tonight in Queens. Meanwhile, the Knicks hope to lock up their top scorer for the foreseeable future. According to SNY guard Jalen Brunson is open to a contract extension with the Knicks and doesn't really care about the money aspect of the deal. Brunson signed a 4-year, $104 million contract with the Knicks 2 years ago and has a player option following the 24-25 season. New York finished at the 2nd seed in the Eastern Conference at 50-32, and we'll see who they'll play in the first round after the play-in tournament. The Rangers getting the top record in the league, the NHL. They have home ice advantage throughout the playoffs after clinching the President's Trophy. They finished with 114 points at 55-23-4. They'll face the 2nd Eastern Conference wildcard team in the first round of the playoffs. Bill revives softwave therapy on Genesee Street in Utica. Oh, and UCFC, unfortunately, their season comes to an end.
Davey, you were at the game
7-5, the final score
last night
against the Kansas City Comets.
Right.
Kind of ironic that the Comets of Kansas City beat Utica City FC in the place where the Utica Comets play.
The Utica Comets, while they are still outside the playoff window, they are, with only a few games left, they're still in the hunt.
They're fighting.
Right?
They're fighting.
So they got a much-needed win the other night, but still outside the playoff circle.
Correct.
They return home on Friday and again on Sunday.
That'll be big. I believe those are the last 2 home games.
So get out while you can.
And chances are, if they do get a playoff game, how does that? So they would.
They'll have some playoff.
They'd have a
games.
couple playoff games in the middle, right?
Yeah.
It all
potentially.
depends on Laval. Laval was ahead of them, I believe,
all right.
3 points.
Okay, 3 points. Oh, boy.
Speaking of fighting, if you're fighting with pain, whether it's your neck, back, knees, wrists, arthritis, neuropathy, whatever it is, Revive Softwave Therapy in Utica can help. There are multiple benefits. It's a quick, easy treatment that is non-invasive, drug-free, and it helps with chronic pain. It directs using high-speed sound waves, blood flow, and your body's natural stem cells to the impacted area. It is promoting natural healing. It doesn't mask the pain like some pills or injections do. Teams like the Lakers, the Guardians, the Nets, the Steelers, the Giants, the Cubs, Mayo Clinic and Cleveland Clinic. Bill, when they finish open heart surgery, they actually will seal up the chest and start using Revive Softwave Therapy on the patient's chest. It's non-invasive, like I said, and with just a few treatments, you can see almost instant results. I was talking to Dr. Nate, who said a woman with severe neuropathy, purple in her foot, pooling of blood, after one treatment was already starting to see improvement. So what are you waiting for? Call 315-725-8427. That's 315-725-8427. Ask them about Discovery Days that you heard on the Keeler Show, and you'll get a great deal on your first consultation and treatment. Let the pain go away with Revive Softwave Therapy on Genesee Street. You can check out their website, reviveutica.com.
All right, I've been waiting all morning long to speak with the governor. The word is that they have a handshake deal on a multi-billion-dollar budget, a $237 billion budget.
That's a big budget.
And believe it or not, we have her on the phone line right now. Good morning, Governor Kathy Hochul.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Bill Keeler. This is your Governor, Kathy Hochul, and yes, congratulations are in order.
Beautiful.
As we now have a $237 billion budget deal.
Well, congratulations, but there are some criticizing, saying this is a lot of money here that's being spent.
Bless him. Tell Griffo to shut his tomato pie hole. We're spending money in important places on new housing, millions of dollars on migrants. Meanwhile, we're pulling from schools with empty chairs.
What about the reform of bail reform? Have you
Yes, we're adding more state troopers who will focus on retail crime. My idea is that they try to talk the would-be thief out of stealing. We feel that's a great deterrent.
By talking them out of stealing?
Yeah, counseling.
That's right. We feel arresting them is a waste of time because they're going to be back out on the streets the next day anyway.
That is
so
true.
we're trying to talk them out of it, trying to prevent the crime before it happens.
By talking them out of it. That's
exactly.
Yeah. All right.
Kid, I'm sorry, but I have to go. I'm putting my handprint into the very expensive concrete today at the new Buffalo Bills Stadium.
Well, congratulations on the handshake agreement.
Yes. A handshake agreement is only as good as the handshake itself, Keeler. Remember,
that's true.
With this downstate Democrat, they'll shake your hand with one arm and stab you in the hoo-ha with the other.
They will.
Have a great day, and by the way, tell Ed in Rome I hear all that Governor Hot Mess stuff she puts out. Reminder, she used to be one of us. She's as responsible as I am.
All right.
Goodbye now.
Goodbye now, Governor, and thank you so much for once again.
I'm glad she finally agreed to come on.
Once again, coming on the air with us. Stand by. We'll continue here this morning. And on a very sad note, what went on in Syracuse affects all of us. We'll speak with Sheriff Rob Maciol about that coming right up at WIBX.
Broadway's must-see musical takes you into the heart of the remarkable true story of 7,000 stranded passengers and a small town in Newfoundland that welcomed them. Come From Away. Hailed as the best of the year across North America, Come From Away is a powerful celebration of humanity. Go see this gem of a musical, Come From Away.
April 16th and 17th at the Stanley Theater. For tickets, visit BroadwayUtica.org.
Now your ideas don't have to wait. Now they have everything they need to come to life. Dell Technologies and Intel are creating technology that loves ideas, loves expanding your business, evolving your passions. We push what technology can do, so great ideas can happen right now. Find out how to bring your ideas to life at Dell.com. Welcome to Now.
Hi, this is Rob Hilton of Hilton Estate and Elder Law with important information that you should know regarding your estate planning. Specifically, you should have prepared what is known as the Big Three. Basic estate planning is comprised of the three main documents that you need. First is the will, next is the healthcare proxy, and last is the power of attorney. What most people don't know is how important of the three the power of attorney really is, because New York State has no simple method for you to act on another's behalf if they become incapacitated. I am often asked, what is probate and why is it needed? Probate is the act of administering the will through the New York State court system. It requires a filing fee and other actions to be taken, as well as a petition to be filed. It is time-consuming and can be expensive. It can be avoided by using a living trust. To find out more about strategies to protect your loved ones through proper estate planning, contact us at Hilton Estate and Elder Law. Call for more information and to schedule an in-person meeting to answer your questions.
Hilton, you know the name, they know the law. Hilton Estate and Elder Law.
Before you buy or take delivery of a bed where you can pick a number on each side and pick the firmness, compare to the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort at Mattress Express. Compare price, compare warranty, compare features. No appointment necessary.
Whether it's food for meetings or company events, EasyCater has everything you need to make food for work. And that means all you have to do is sit back and take credit.
Wow, a vegan and a meat lover taco bar? Jill, you're the best.
Oh, all I did was use EasyCater.
Take the credit, Jill.
Well, I guess I sort of...
Take it.
...invented taco bars.
Too far, Jill. Too far. EasyCater has everything you need to make food for work. 100,000 restaurants, one platform. Order 24/7 at easycater.com.
Are you ready to smell better naked? I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN creator of Lumi, the whole body deodorant that's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, and beyond. It's pH optimized to safely and effectively control odor anywhere you have it, but wish you didn't. Plus, it's proven to work better than a shower with soap alone. Whether you shower twice a day or 3 times a week, Lumi works better. And who doesn't want zero body odor? With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I'm so sure you're going to love it, or you can return it for free.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 500 and get 15% off your first purchase with code 500, like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LUMEdeodorant.com, code 500 for 15% off your first purchase. Love it or return it for free. That's LUMEdeodorant.com, code 500 to save 15% today.
Utica's first cannabis dispensary is local, licensed, and now open to all. Exit 31 Exotic is your home for edibles, flower, vapes, and all your cannabis needs. Visit Exit 31 Exotic at 255 Genesee Street or online at uticacannabisco.com.
For use only by adults 21 years of age or older. Keep out of reach of children and pets. In case of accidental ingestion or overconsumption, contact the National Poison Control Center hotline 1-800-222-1222 or call 911. Please consume responsibly. License number OCMCAURD 2400076.
Fraudulent tax returns due to identity theft increased by 30% in 2023. If you're in a bind this tax season, LifeLock can help. Their U.S.-based restoration specialists are dedicated to helping solve identity theft issues, and all plans are backed by the $1 Million Protection Package, which means if you lose money because of identity theft, LifeLock will reimburse you up to the limits of your plan. Help protect your information with LifeLock. Go to LifeLock.com and save up to 25% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code.
Hey, I want to tell you about River Hills Properties, the #1 independent real estate agency in all of Central New York, and it is about the services that they provide. Now, we talk about it, but you can now see it on their new TV show, which airs every weekend, and there'll be a brand new show this weekend called Sold in Upstate New York, Saturday at 2 p.m. on WPNY, and then on Fox on Sunday at 8 a.m. and 11:30 p.m., check it out. And it's called Sold in Upstate New York, Bill and Robin Monjo. And it is all about the services provided. In fact, Andrew, I got to say, talk about services provided. You had a home in last weekend's show.
Correct.
That was one of the most disgusting, rat-infested, horrific properties I think I've ever seen.
Well, I don't know that there was ever any rats in there.
Well,
but,
I was just adding to it a little bit.
Adding the dramatic effect, but it was rough.
What you did with it, you did a flip, and you see before and after. I know that's going to be a featured house coming up sometime soon, but you see before and after pictures. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, so I can't really take much credit for it. It's actually the home that my future brother-in-law purchased. It's a family affair, so to speak. Everybody's got their role, but we really restored it. Flip can sometimes have a negative connotation, but this house
there was no
has
remodel
been fully
here.
restored.
There was no remodel.
Mm-hmm.
This was a restoration.
Bingo.
Yeah, it was really incredible. But you can check it out, and if you'd like to see that, it's episode 2, which you can search for on YouTube.
Yep.
It's up there right now.
Or the River Hills Properties Facebook page.
First 2 episodes that are up there.
I did realize
online.
being on that episode, I needed to lose weight. So
call 315-896-1009 if you want to sell or buy your home. List with River Hills. Why wouldn't you? They have offices in Barneville, Little Falls, Rome, and Utica. Online, it's riverhillspropertiesllc.com. Why wouldn't you list with River Hills Properties?
This is actual footage of Bill Keeler doing a radio show on WIBX. Sadly, his career was found in a heavily wooded area. If you know the person or persons who ended the radio career of Bill Keeler, please tell them thanks on behalf of the people of Central New York.
This is Keeler in the Morning. WIBX 950 and 92.3 FM.
All right, good morning. In studio right now is Sheriff Rob Maciol here at 825. Sheriff, good morning. And, you've been through this. We've all been through it here locally. Losing an officer, there's just nothing like it. It is a brotherhood. And the support that I think that has been shown from this community and really around the state and around the country is quite incredible for what happened in Syracuse.
Exactly. Definitely a tragedy. There's a night when, people are finishing up their dinners and people are tucking their kids into bed in what appears to be a really nice neighborhood. This tragedy, when gunfire opened up and just an awful thing. When a police officer gets killed in the line of duty, just sad story and learning, a lot about both of these dedicated individuals. Just awful, and you look, and obviously this brings back a lot of memories for us. Just having gone through an officer killed in a line of duty, there's so many things, and I can, the one thing I clearly remember. That's the only time in the 14 years that I've been the sheriff that the shades were closed in my office because I came back from that call where Deputy Wyman was shot and killed, and I'll never forget. I looked out my office window and all I saw were media trucks out in the parking lot, and it was just that's a vision I'll never get out of my mind. So I remember closing because I had to get a lot of things together, and I cannot say thank you enough to the people that were there for the members of the sheriff's office and Deputy Wyman's family, and the community was just amazing. So, when something like this happens, they're on their third day of processing this crime scene. So you've got members of law enforcement out there in Syracuse processing a crime scene where 2 of their own were shot and killed. Mm-hmm. Just an awful thing to have to do. Like I said, they're on their third day of processing that scene because it covered, between the home and outside the home and vehicles, and there's a lot there. They've also got a city and a county to respond to calls that don't stop. The calls never stop because of this, so they're dealing with that. And then the most significant thing is they have to grieve, and not only these families were devastated and destroyed, but you've got law enforcement members who were on the scene. You've got law enforcement members that work their careers with these people. So the people are, members of the team out there. They're trying to go through the grieving process. So it's just an unbelievable amount of weight that is put on the shoulders of of these law enforcement members.
And they still have to do their job.
They still have to do their job. Like I said, the need in the community, it doesn't stop. I mean, they still need to protect their community. And, I just, like I said, it brings back, it's right now talking about it, it definitely gets you choked up. Just an awful, awful thing to have to go through. And like I said, these guys that were killed in Syracuse. I mean, one of them obviously has ties right here in Oneida County. One of them, a dedicated volunteer firefighter on top of their dedicated law enforcement careers. So definitely just a tragedy no matter how you look at it.
Yeah. And then I almost feel like you don't expect, you're not in an inner city area where guns are being fired and going off. You're in basically a calm residential area.
Suburban area, yeah.
Where you wouldn't expect it. And that almost places you in a situation where maybe you're a little bit off guard.
Well, and I think, law enforcement members deal with it every day because, again, they go, men and women on calls every minute of the day, and you've got to be able to, number one, protect yourself, protect your community, but at the same time, you're trying to not violate the rights of the person you're dealing with. So, it's constantly, police officers are trying to assess, how do we, and you only have seconds to do that, and again, it doesn't matter anymore with the type of neighborhood that we're dealing with or what appears to be a really nice neighborhood. Obviously there's not a lot of details that have come out about the specifics of this case, but clearly you're dealing with an evil person here who obviously was well armed. And as the time goes on here, because like I said, right now, the two most important things that they're dealing with out there is processing this crime scene, and then of course, grieving and planning the funerals of two law enforcement people, which, like I said, is just it's an unbelievable amount of stressful work to have to undertake.
It is. Clearly, who knows what the word from the DA's office, I believe, is that they were doing cocaine, and the friend who is now talking and cooperating will not be arrested, but he's at least there to be able to tell authorities what was going on. And it does seem that when authorities were outside the house, they could hear him prepping the AR-15. They reported in the paper today.
Correct.
So with that, that's all premeditated. You may be messed up in the head, maybe mental illness, maybe drugs, maybe a combination of the two, but you're making a decision that you're going to take people's lives.
Exactly. And I had a conversation with Sheriff Shelley. Sheriffs, there's only 57 of us in New York State. There's 62 counties. There's only 57 sheriffs. We all know each other. We actually have a conference call statewide every single Thursday. We've done that for years and years. So we all know each other on a first name basis. I have nearly every sheriff in the state, their cell phones in my phone as they have mine. So I called him immediately, to offer first and foremost our condolences, but to also ask, if they need anything. And obviously he was pretty shaken up. Like I said, it's just an awful, awful thing to have to go through. And we'll see how the next few days play out.
So as far as the investigation part of this goes, I mean, what are they going through procedural wise? What are they?
According to his press
still
conference,
trying to figure out motive.
Anything I'm saying here, he's already said publicly at a press conference. So, obviously the house is a crime scene. The outside where the police officers were murdered, that's part of the crime scene. According to the sheriff, what he said in his press conference yesterday, the wounded police officers were loaded into sheriff's cars and taken to the hospital. So now those sheriff's cars become part of the crime scene. So there's a lot of things going on, but it's just like I said, because police officers, they work crime scenes every single day, but it's not when one of your own, the blood on the ground that you're processing is not usually one of your own, so it just makes it
you normally, I would think you have to find a way when you work in this line of business, you have to find a way to detach yourself.
Absolutely.
Emotionally.
Otherwise you
go
wouldn't
crazy.
be able to you wouldn't be able to, and that's why
you can't in this now this has hit home.
You've got to, you've got to somehow hold things together, because obviously, like in his case, as the sheriff, that's a big sheriff's office. And he still has a sheriff's office to run. He still has to answer to the public, because that's part of his job too. He still has to ensure that all his officers are getting what they need. Because obviously going through the grieving process, and you have to provide them any support services, counseling services, peer support services, all that has to happen. And like I said, you still have to answer. I can only imagine the dozens and dozens and dozens of calls they still have to go on each and every day, nonstop.
Right.
It doesn't stop.
It's a big area. I mean, Onondaga, it's a lot of people.
It's a big sheriff's office.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, here in the next few days, we're going to be working with, because obviously the Syracuse police officer is a gentleman who grew up in the city of Rome, and obviously his family's still here in Rome. So you'll be seeing that roll out in the next few days here. But we're there to, as I let everybody know, and our people are working with the folks out there. We're here to assist in any way we possibly can to make this very, very difficult, tragic situation a little bit easier for them. So anything we could do to them or do to help them, we certainly.
And
will.
then on top of this, you have to look in the mirror and realize this could happen to anybody on any given day, and families go through this. You yourself, you have family that are in law enforcement, so it does make you just think for a moment. I would assume that this could happen to anybody at any time,
every day. It's very scary. And like I said, we don't know a lot of the details about this, but something has to change. And again, I'm not saying this is a bail reform issue at all. I'm not saying this is a mental health system failure at all. But my point is, when you just see the continual breakdown of the criminal justice system generally as a whole, I just, again,
it's not the breakdown of the justice system. I don't think it's the breakdown of society.
Societal breakdown, 100%.
Which is ultimately the victim of that becomes.
There's again, we'll never know, but I would love to know what was in the mind of this evil person.
Yeah, what led up to
this? Well, to pick up a firearm and to kill. To ambush, people who are there to help.
I think that the silver lining, as far as the investigative standpoint of this, is that there was that individual that he was with, and obviously was reluctant to participate in anything that was going on, and was probably overwhelmed by the whole situation. That hopefully he'll be able to provide insight to what was going on.
According to the sheriff in his press conference, the individual was taken into custody as he was fleeing from the home.
Yeah,
when this was
climbing over a fence,
when the gunfire was going down. But
so he clearly didn't want any part of it. But at some point, though, he was in a high-speed chase
with multiple weapons in the car.
Went back to the house, and according to him, did more cocaine. So although they say he won't be charged because he's cooperating, but and I guess probably played no role in doing this. But at what point do you say to the person you're with, "This is not a good idea"?
Because again, people have an obligation. We say it all the time.
Yeah.
So when this individual knew that something was going to go down, because you can't tell me that he didn't.
Yeah.
Shame on him for not doing something. It's just a tragedy.
And I would assume it takes a certain personality to react a certain way to drugs. Maybe it's cocaine, alcohol, whatever. But sadly, there are a lot of people who do cocaine that don't take an AR-15 out.
Well, that was going to be my next statement.
Yeah.
Obviously, we on a whole other issue we've been dealing with as a team in our county, dealing with drug overdose and abuse issues. And like you said,
they don't grab an AR-15 and shoot people up.
99.9999% of those people will never pick a gun up and shoot another human being.
Yep. Sheriff, we appreciate it. Feel for you and what everybody is going through in times like this.
Thank you.
Sheriff Rob Maciol. We'll break. We'll talk with County Executive Anthony Picente coming up in a second.
Whitesboro Central School District is looking for bus drivers to join their team. Whitesboro is a leading school system in Central New York. With 7 schools, 3,100 students, and holding a 92% graduation rate, you can help drive our students' success. When you drive for Whitesboro, you get great benefits, a flexible schedule, and summers off. Perfect for retirees with extra time. Help drive our future leaders with Whitesboro Central School Transportation. Call Andy at 315-768-9740 or stop by the garage, 20 Wood Road, Whitesboro.
Replacing your roof isn't a decision you take lightly. You want industry standards met with affordable options and a crew who knows how important a sound roof is to you and your family. Dennis Padula & Sons Roofing is your hometown roofers with deep roots in our community. Padula Roofers specialize in residential roofing projects. They're a GAF certified master elite roofing contractor who keeps their standards above the rest. Call 315-733-1564 to find out more about their Roofs for Troops mail-in rebate. Dennis Padula & Sons Roofing, your hometown roofers.
Why do so many dogs suffer from weight issues, skin problems, messy poops, and low energy? It could be the popular dog food you put in their bowl each day.
Cody was sleeping a lot, wasn't playing.
She was very lethargic and not moving around.
Dry kibble just wasn't cutting it. That's why, after more than 45 years of experience of helping dogs make complete health turnarounds, veterinarian Dr. Marty created Nature's Blend. It's a freeze-dried raw dog food made with wholesome ingredients like premium meats, seeds, vegetables, and fruit. And once dog parents switch their pups to Nature's Blend, the results can be astounding.
She's got her energy back. She's running around like she did like 5 years ago.
Miraculously, she's just feeling all around better. She's like a new dog. Thank you, Dr. Marty.
Get your dog started today and save up to 54% off Nature's Blend. Plus, receive a free pack of our best-selling beef liver dog treats. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Text DEAL to 511-511. All dogs are unique. Your dog's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
Utica's first cannabis dispensary is local, licensed, and now open to all. Exit 31 Exotic is your home for edibles, flower, vapes, and all your cannabis needs. Visit Exit 31 Exotic at 255 Genesee Street or online at uticacannabisco.com.
For use only by adults 21 years of age or older. Keep out of reach of children and pets. In case of accidental ingestion or overconsumption, contact the National Poison Control Center hotline 1-800-222-1222 or call 911. Please consume responsibly. License number OCMCAURD 2400076.
Get ready. It's truck season at Steve Pawnee Chevrolet, and these deals won't last long. Test drive the 2024 Silverado 1500 Crew Cab LT 4x4. Lease it for $489 a month for 3 years, 10,000 miles per year. Or take advantage of the purchase offer with a $6,000 rebate or rates as low as 0.9%. Or the 2024 Equinox LS all-wheel drive. Lease it for only $359 a month for 3 years, 10,000 miles per year. Or purchase it with a $2,000 rebate and rates as low as 1.9%. Together, let's drive with Steve Pawnee Chevy.
Customers must qualify top-tier credit through GM Financial. Offer on select models. Lease offer must have select model current lease through GM Financial. Finance offer must have 2010 or newer Chevrolet trade-in. All taxes, fees, and first payment due on delivery. See salesperson for details. Must take delivery by April 30th, 2024.
See why it's always easy to do business at Steve Pawnee Chevrolet, Route 28 in Herkimer, or at StevePawneeChevy.com.
Before you buy or take delivery of a bed where you can pick a number on each side and pick the firmness, compare to the Smart Bed by Instant Comfort at Mattress Express. Compare price, compare warranty, compare features. No appointment necessary.
Broadway's must-see musical takes you into the heart of the remarkable true story of 7,000 stranded passengers and a small town in Newfoundland that welcomed them. Come From Away. Hailed as the best of the year across North America, Come From Away is a powerful celebration of humanity. Go see this gem of a musical, Come From Away.
April 16th and 17th at the Stanley Theater. For tickets, visit BroadwayUtica.org.
Whether it's food for meetings or company events, EasyCater has everything you need to make food for work, work. And that means all you have to do is sit back and take credit.
Wow, a vegan and a meat lover taco bar? Jill, you're the best.
Oh, all I did was use EasyCater.
Take the credit, Jill.
Well, I guess I sort of...
Take it.
Invented taco bars.
Too far, Jill. Too far. EasyCater has everything you need to make food for work, work. 100,000 restaurants, one platform. Order 24/7 at EasyCater.com.
Ew, gotta get rid of this old Backstreet Boys t-shirt.
Tell me why.
Because it stinks, boys.
Tell me why.
I've washed it so many times, but the odor won't come out.
Tell me why.
No, you tell me why I can't get rid of this odor.
Have you tried Downy Rinse and Refresh? It doesn't just cover up odors, it helps remove them.
Wow, it worked, guys.
Yeah.
Downy Rinse and Refresh removes more odor in one wash than the leading value detergent in 3 washes. Find it wherever you buy laundry products.
It's happening daily. We're being conned by the institutions we used to trust. The mainstream media is distracting us with meaningless headlines instead of focusing on the harsh realities facing American families. Time is short before something big happens, and that's why so many folks are preparing. They're becoming self-reliant by investing in emergency food storage from My Patriot Supply. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com and secure 4-week emergency food kits for each member of your family. Each kit contains tasty breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, averaging over 2,000 calories per day. Save $50 on each 4-week food kit you purchase. Plus, get free shipping on Ready Hour 4-week emergency food kits. You're not ready if it's not Ready Hour Foods. At My Patriot Supply, you can also get solar power generators, water filtration units, heirloom seeds, and survival gear. Order by 3 p.m. and your unmarked boxes ship the same day. Shop MyPatriotSupply.com today. MyPatriotSupply.com.
Hello, everyone in Central New York. This is Dave Letterman, your old TV pal. Remember me? I'm supposed to say something witty and funny here about Bill Keeler, but I've got nothing. Ever see a picture of this guy? That's a joke in itself. Anyhow, here's Keeler on WIBX.
Here we are on Tuesday morning. I don't know what you just said to me. Everyone flying all over the place.
Still working out the growing pains here.
I don't know that I would go to see. I love David Letterman, but that beard is such a distraction for me. I just don't know. I don't know why. Tell me why.
Tell me why.
In studio right now is County Executive Anthony Picente. Good morning.
Good morning, and just let me also say my condolences to officers and families that were killed this weekend, and to those departments and to all really our and not much. I mean, I don't know what else to say that hasn't been said, but other than we're praying for them, and having gone through that, as the sheriff said before me, we know those pains, but it's a tough one.
And then the local tie.
The local tie
really makes it hit home.
Really, exactly.
So, and by the way, before we get into all of the just an incredible 2 weeks, or really longer. I think China was here for 4. They were here for a month. I mean, you got to leave enough time to be able to get the secrets. But
and to buy some farmland and
buy some farmland, and
is that what they were doing?
Yeah, right.
Okay.
Run away and ask for political asylum. You didn't have any of that, right? There was
not that I'm aware of. No.
But beyond all that,
and Japan was here for a couple of weeks.
Japan was, yeah.
So.
But maybe before we get to that, the governor does seem, and I just spoke with her. I don't know.
I heard her take a nice nasty swipe at Senator Joe.
Senator Joe.
Well,
at least she localized it.
He wasn't kind to her yesterday. So.
Not just a pie hole, but a tomato pie hole.
Well, he was spot on. If I
think he was. Your take. I mean, this is a lot of money, and it seems to be focusing on areas that there are other areas that can be focused on.
Well, there are, and clearly, this housing situation, which I don't know how it's going to affect us upstate in that regard. I mean, it seems that every issue that this legislature, that the Democratic-controlled legislature focuses on, is city-centric, and has to do with downstate issues.
But don't you find
not
that
a recognition?
These people oftentimes don't necessarily want to. If there's a lot available out there, A lot of services available.
There are.
These people oftentimes do not want the help. They do not want to live in a government-controlled setting.
Right, but also the issue of of the rental properties being dictated upon how they can manage themselves. I mean, what are we getting into here? I mean,
she's saying they can't raise the rent, but maybe is it like a capped at 10% or something?
Yeah, and wait to see some of the details of this. But I also wait and see if they get it done, because I've heard some legislative leaders say that or whatever, and who knows that.
Well, and then
it's still not done.
And then the education aspect. It's going to be interesting to see that.
Education aspect, and look, the amount of money as I came back from the border, I told you this of what we're spending and what the state is spending, and that's outrageous in terms of what is necessary. We can't educate our children the right way. We can't, provide the proper services for what we have, and and now we're adjusting Medicaid yet again. I mean, we'll wait to see what. That's why I never want to talk about a budget when she presents it, or even when it's in debate, because you really don't know until it's done.
The other part of this was just the language. Seems to, and this would affect you with smaller school districts around the county and around the region, it almost seems as if she's saying these smaller school districts with lower enrollment, they're going to be pulling money back away from them, which would ultimately force them most likely to merge somewhere. It almost seems like that's the end goal.
Yeah, and that's not the way to go about it. Yeah. I mean, there are other ways in which, and look, I've preached consolidation for a long time, but there are again, we go back to home rule and there are different aspects of this, and there are ways in which school districts can merge if necessary, but it should not be at the expense of the current school year for those students. There should be a plan in place. There should be a way in which to do that. You just don't cut off aid and say, okay, now you got to figure it out, because you've got kids that need to be educated now, today, and
I think
they're not based on the will of them.
Their way of justifying this is saying, well, we're not going to do anything until next year, but at the same time,
but you are doing something right now.
When you think about it, it's look where we are right now. Yeah. So these districts are going to have to start thinking that next year down the road.
They are.
All right. First of all, I wrote a couple pieces during this whole thing where, and I wrote one yesterday that I just I feel like either team could have won that game.
Oh, what a phenomenal game!
What a victory!
It was back and forth. It was a heavyweight battle.
My mother called after the game because they were unable to get it, and I figured it out through Spectrum. You had to pay an extra $7 to get the sports package.
Of course you did.
So she said I had to turn it off. It was so exhausting. I could not. She got too excited about it.
Getting nervous.
Yeah, Rob and I, watching and with Rob, and we both kind of said the same thing at different times. I mean, but Rob has seen.
Yes.
I mean, I don't know how many more. I mean, Rob has seen so many more games just at the Adirondack Bank Center than of course I have.
Yeah.
But Rob to say this is the most exciting game I've seen in that building.
Yeah.
I mean,
well, and it was the attendance record. They
well,
beat
but
it
not
twice,
only
right?
but the game itself. I mean,
the game.
We've been to so many games, and you have, and I know everybody has, and you're watching the game, and whether it's a playoff game or whether it's against the rival, whether it's against Syracuse or something. Yeah. But that game, people were so glued down. Everybody was just. Nobody was talking during the game. It was kind of nobody's talking, nobody's saying anything until there's a break, and it's like, oh.
You're right. You had to catch
your
breath.
You're like exhausted. You can't compare yourself
Part
to the players.
In my story, Nancy Ford was doing our photography, and she texted me and said, I cannot keep up with this game. It's so hard to shoot because it's happening so quickly.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And these are like the one player who just had the baby.
Mm-hmm.
That's just unbelievable. This is a mother out there.
Amazing women. Amazing.
They didn't look like women. They looked like hockey players.
Until they took off the helmets.
Yeah, then you're like, wow. Yeah, that's pretty. Yes, it was like the WNBA draft last night.
Yes,
I was like, holy, is this the
Grammys?
Grammys?
It was, right.
But yeah, so enough of how great it was, and really, 2026 is the Winter Olympics. So there's a very good chance you're going to see these ladies, many of these ladies, on the U.S. team for the Olympics. And I think that's what Team USA is thinking about, not this year as much as next year and the year after. But let's talk about what this just showed we can accomplish here.
Yeah, look, when we got this over a year ago or about a year ago, and we were just blown away and started meeting and saying, okay, how do we do this? And so it's been a long process, a lot of great partners. I mean, obviously a lot of great people, helping out the sponsor, the sponsorships, the schools, the law enforcement, we've been talking about them the last, 24, 48 hours or even the last 14 days, but it just goes on. And it really came together like nothing I could have imagined. I mean, obviously, every now and then there's, you think there's going to be a blip or something, but we were asked yesterday a couple times, is there something you're going to look at? We'll do a regroup. Rob and I talked yesterday. We'll do let the dust settle the next couple of days, and we'll sit down and with the team and just say, okay, were we lacking anything? Do we have to do something different? I'm sure
there'll be little
especially
things
for the with the box lacrosse coming up, which will be a little bit different.
You can learn from this.
Be a little bit different, but I can't say enough about the community, the players, the teams, the officials, the USA Hockey, the IIHF, all to a person were like, this community is phenomenal. These people are great. We've been welcomed everywhere. The families were blown away by the treatment they got whenever they walked into a restaurant or just on the street or in the Aud or at Nexus or wherever they were, and between the hotels, between Turning Stone and here, and so much went into it, and it really is a great. I mean, we're on the world stage, and I said one of the greatest things was seeing the opening of the NHL network and zeroing in on the skylight of Utica at night. It was like, wait a minute, where are we? It was awesome.
It was so good. It made Utica look so good, and inside it looked so good. And then the ESPN reporter did the Instagram piece on the history of the Aud and how it inspired the Madison Square Garden and all of those things. It just was, there was so much good for this area. But on top of that, it shows you what can be accomplished.
Well, I think, and all of this, and this is what, I think, we've envisioned over the years as we did the work on the Adirondack Bank Center, the Aud, as we built Nexus, as we've been building around, the landscape and all the other pieces that we've been doing in attracting more people here. Because the other point is, you could build these things if you don't have people that are going to utilize them and get entertained by them. It's not going to do you any good. So all of the pieces, whether it's been at Griffiths, whether it's been Wolfspeed, whether it's been other companies and the hospital and the projects and all of that ties in together.
Yeah,
you can't just single out one, and then you have this opportunity in front of you to attract the world stage, and it's like which there are I can't even put a number. I mean, there's thousands and thousands of communities across the United States that will never have the opportunity. We that are bigger than us, and that have different things than us that'll never get this opportunity. But we did.
There is the thing to be said for, how am I doing?
58-20.
There's something to be said for a community this size, which will react to something like this much differently than a big city, which would pay no attention. So that's really big. I just wanted to ask you one final question. I've got about a minute. While you're sitting there, is there anything that came to your mind? You're like, we can do this now, or why don't we do this? Although I did hear people complaining, they send everybody off to the casino. And I said, well, if you had one downtown, you wouldn't have to worry about it.
Well, the reason for that was that USA Hockey, the requirement was that all of the teams and the officials of their staffing and et cetera had to be under one roof.
Fair enough.
Now, China and Japan had stayed downtown before that. But once the tournament was about to begin,
they moved out to.
They had to move out there. That was and the point was, you had 10 teams with an average of 35 people per team.
Right.
And then so give or take. Maybe a few more. In that. So.
And then you
do the math on that. Do the math, but
yeah.
do the math just on that.
Yeah.
That's 300. The 10 teams, 35 people,
So
350. So they need to be there.
So before we break, is there one?
Is there one? It's we've got to do some more things now. We've got
more things to do.
We got to add to this.
Yeah.
And I think we can.
This shows you that Nexus was a really good idea.
Nexus was a great idea.
That's for darn sure.
Wait till we've got some other things in the hopper. So.
I've gone over your time, Andrew, so I might as well just keep
I don't even
going.
know what I'm doing. Just go to the time.
I was going to go, Andrew, but you screwed everything up so badly. So you have the state of the county.
State of the county.
My guess is there's a few things that came out of this that will inspire you for that.
There will.
So pretty cool.
And stuff that we've been working on anyway ahead of time. So
yeah. All right.
Okay.
The studio. This is it.
This is.
We're not done yet.
I know we're not done, but
I
like the lines.
I can push one button and you'd actually be out in the parking lot.
I had asked when I came in, because I know you can't drink. Could I chew gum in here?
Yes, you can do that.
Because,
yes,
you can't even do that. I was just checking.
Not allowed. Gotta go. Thank you so much. We appreciate it.
From the Stanley Theater Studio, WIDX Utica, Rome, W295EI, WIDX 950 and 92.3 FM, a Town Square media station.
This hasn't happened in 148 years. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. The House will deliver impeachment articles to the Senate today for a cabinet secretary.
The Biden border catastrophe is the #1 priority of House Republicans, and it remains the #1 priority of the American people.
House Speaker Mike Johnson tells Fox the Senate must hold a trial on the articles accusing the head of Homeland Security, Alejandro Mayorkas, of ignoring laws, allowing record illegal immigration. But the Senate's Democratic Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says there is no crime here, and there may not be a trial.
As I've said repeatedly, impeachment should never be used to settle a policy disagreement. That would set a horrible precedent for the Congress.
Speaker Johnson also tells Fox they will not follow the Senate's lead on the stalled foreign aid bill.
The will of the House is to address it in single subjects.
Meaning separate votes this week on military aid to Ukraine and Taiwan and Israel. It's war cabinets met again after the Israeli military leader vowed to respond to Iran's weekend attack, though most of the drones or missiles were shot down. Fox's Trey Yingst is standing next to the shell of one of them in Tel Aviv.
This is about 70% of the entire missile that was launched from Iranian territory. The Israelis don't know what the exact target was, but they do know it was either shot down or it separated as it entered Israeli territory. We also know that there was a 500-kilogram warhead on top of this missile. That's about half a ton of explosives.
Former President Trump has arrived at a New York court for day 2 of jury selection at his first criminal trial. More than half the prospective jurors questioned yesterday were excused, saying they could not be impartial. Trump attorney Alina Habba tells Fox.
There's no chance of a fair trial here. Remember, just because it's a jury doesn't mean that the judge can't sway them to go one way or another.
The former president just posted on Truth Social the judge hates him and the trial's rigged and unconstitutional. He's charged with falsifying records related to 2016 payments to keep quiet an alleged affair he denies. America's listening to Fox News.
Don't let everyday aches and pains keep you from living your best life.
I don't think I really understood what people meant when they talked about pain until I started feeling it myself.
Start feeling better every day with Relief Factor, a daily supplement designed to support your body's fight against aches and pains.
Not only do I move better without pain, I just feel better.
Created by doctors, Relief Factor uses a unique formula of natural ingredients that target 4 metabolic pathways to address pain. Relief Factor doesn't just mask aches and pains, it helps reduce or even eliminate them.
Today, I do the things I love, and it doesn't occur to me to think about pain.